hopefully, a long one between these two greats. And here we are. Game number one, people. Game number one. So we got to get right into it. Hera, double mill. He pulls villagers to build a second mill, and Hera's going scouts against Viper's archers. Now, big difference here. Hera's got like 8 villagers on the shorefish. Viper's kept the original 4. So Hera is going to dedicate everything to securing the fish. Viper not willing to take the risk right now.
Yeah, and Hera already has that stable, and he's got the archer range. Viper just producing spearmen. He's got archers on the go, and he's got fletching already in. However, Hera has 4 scouts on the field. He's producing more because he has so much food coming in, and he's got skirmishers coming out here to deal with the spears and the archers. And the skirms are a counter to both of the units that Viper is creating right now. However, Viper has added that dock, and he's gone for a galley. Galley
is a big surprise to me, but he could use the galley to disrupt the villagers there, and that could be really annoying for Hera to deal with. Hera will ultimately defend with the skirms. I'm really liking his position, at least for his food eco, but he hasn't killed much from Viper just yet. 0-0 on the KD.
Yeah, 0-0 overall. Really, really tense opening. Hera afraid to go in against those villagers and take too much damage. Viper pulling back the archers. He's trying to stop Micro against the scouts here. Now pulling his scout away. The skirmisher is still pushing away that spearman, and a second stable is coming up from Hera as the galley pushes forward here from Viper, trying to cut off the fish.
Yeah, I mean, Viper can also fish behind this, so there is a benefit to having the dock, but I'm not in love with the galley right now. He does have fletching already, but we'll see. Viper's got a lot of army, but he needs to group it up together right now.
Yeah, Hera's kind of waiting for his moments. He's looking for opportunities to pick away at the villagers. I see that he's thinking about adding a dock of his own as well as the skirmishers and scouts push in here, trying to get the villagers, but Viper is up to the task and pushes those away. Still chasing the 4 scouts at the back of his base with the spearman, trying to wall up and keeping that scout alive as he added the stable as well, and he's trying to get scouts onto the field.
Scouts are the key right now for Viper, because he needs scouts to neutralize the skirms.
They need to be kept alive.
So you got to keep those scouts alive. Now, it's really difficult right now for Viper to push because Hera is trying to raid him, but if Viper can move forward, could be good for him. The problem with that is then your spearman might not be at home, and the galley's already killed a villager there.
And there's archers coming in from the other side. The scouts are killing the skirmishers, and the faster firing Ethiopian archers are doing well against those scouts. Hera still doesn't realize this is happening, but Hera is flanking the archers from Viper from behind with the scouts. Viper's got the galley to support. He's got his own scouts there, and Hera not yet taking the fight, but he's thinking about it. He's advancing. He's looking to surround these archers from Viper in game 1.
Viper's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there. And Hera's still focused on his army. He doesn't know. Maybe he'll hear the crowd screaming and think, what am I missing right now? But he's looking to jump on the main army, and this is going to be amazing for Hera.
Demo coming out from Viper. We don't know how long. Oh, it's a long way away. It's a long way away, Hera.
Hera could still, he could be completely fine, Dave. He's still got the shorefish. He's got a much better army. He rushed all these scout upgrades, and the skirms will take care of any archers. I mean, if Viper didn't get those villager kills, he might be dead. He's got to save these villagers.
That's it.
What a save from Viper. I mean, it gives him a little bit of time, but job's not done yet, Dave. We've got the galleys that need to be protected there for Viper. He's going to get another villager pick here. And Viper's got to fight back on water against those fire ships.
Look at the eco KD, 7-1 right now for Viper.
7 out of 10 stuff here for Viper so far, but he's got some builds exposed, and it's going to turn around quick.
And Viper doesn't notice this time. He just pulls away. Might be able to save like 2 of those villagers. Hera coming in from the backside of Viper's base. At least 2 of those are going to go down. Viper saves a couple. Might be able to quick wall in. Again, things are so hectic here in game number 1 as Viper now loses the defensive spearman, and he's forced to fight with villagers on the other side.
It's a problem for Viper, the lack of army he has. He got amazing value with what he did, but he doesn't have consistent army right now. He tried to go scout archer, and he lost the early numbers, and Hera can recoup those losses, guys. He's got the shorefish, and that's really fast source of food income here. You can see Viper's economy. Villagers running all around. It's not pretty, and Hera's we're barely looking at right now. We see Viper again with house walls everywhere, keeping himself in the game.
Oh, Hera can't get in. He wants to get in. He's knocking at the door here, but the tower from Viper is going to be enough to push that away. But you're right. The army count here is key for Viper, and the fact that Hera, even with 7 villagers less than Viper, is on the Shorefish is a very big deal.
It's a big deal.
More resources collected overall for Hera.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because Hera also has control of the water. The galley choice for Viper wasn't enough to really secure the water long term after a sneak dock. We've got skirms there from Hera with good well, actually not many upgrades, so maybe it won't kill all the archers, but it's clear. Hera in full control here in game number 1.
Yeah, and the Eco KD now 13-8. Viper did some serious damage, but Hera's army count is just smothering Viper and keeping him away from those Shorefish. Viper now relying on the TC to defend, but he's only got 4 military, doesn't have any resources in the bank. Feels like Hera is snowballing this game, and he's able to take the Shorefish safely.
Viper needs he needs a market.
He needs a moment.
He needs a moment. He needs many moments to breathe right now, and I think maybe a counterattack. When things aren't going well for you.
With what?
Well, 2 archers, maybe 3 archers, something into the wood line where the skirmishers aren't. That could maybe
Hera's
help you out.
up to Castle Age.
Crazy. I mean, you look back at Hera's eco, it's not just the Shorefish. He's added farms as well, right? So the Shorefish kind of set up all the scout and the skirms, but he will likely, knowing Hera, try and transition a little bit away from that. And he's not going to rely on skirmishers much more. Now, there's 2 farms, so I'm stupid. But we have a pause, hopefully no big issues. Hera just needs to rely on like having knights here. Viper's got 5 archers. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, Viper, I mean, he had the damage early. I think he waltzed into the eco and he killed like 12 villagers.
Yep.
12 villagers early, but it wasn't enough because he wasn't defending himself at home, as we see the scouts from Hera still at the back there. We'll get some information on this pause shortly. I mean, and we're just kind of building the tension at this point.
Yeah, I believe there may have been a disconnect or drop. Just the game over on capture age there makes us feel that's the case. I don't think this is a GG call.
I think we might be back into it.
We're going to have to hear word here in a second. Well, now it said pause, game over. I think we currently have the observer trying to figure that one out. So we'll get back to you guys on that. But, I mean, think about how this game's played out. Hera's produced way more scouts than the opponent was expecting. I think that's kind of been his thing this tournament. I mean, scouts, of course, is something you always think of with Hera, but specific to Empire Wars, when he played against Hart, he just made 1 stable, made 5 to 6 scouts. He felt, I'm better here, and he just sat back. But he did have that one game 1 of that series, where he went 2 stables fast upgrades with Bulgarians. Here as well, I think Viper he expected skirms, he expected some scouts, but he didn't expect the upgrades and those numbers from Hera.
And I think he was punished by the fact that he didn't wall the back of his base.
Yeah.
Like ACCM did that when he played this. He didn't end up winning that, but I mean, he had a really, really defensive base, and he couldn't get hit by the scouts, couldn't get hit by the skirmishers, and Viper was really punished by those.
Hera sneaking onto water was something that just came out of the blue as well. That was really nice addition. And fortunately, in close quarters on water, if you add 2 galleys, 1 fire ship clears that all up. So when everything else was happening, the fires came out. So if Viper had water control still, even with everything else happening, and the dock never went up, the Shorefish for Hera wouldn't be taken as easily, right?
We're being told that Hera actually won the game, Viper GG, shortly after we disconnected.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
So very
makes
shortly
sense.
after.
Makes sense.
That, which was expected because Viper had 5 military and he was nowhere close to going up the Castle Age. But still, would have loved to see the end of that one. We're going to head into game 2. Apologies to the stream and, of course, to our live audience. That sort of stuff happens sometimes. We want to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, that game was pretty over. Hera was up to Castle Age. He was still producing more scouts. Viper 5 archers. Viper with like 12 on berries. It was just not.
Is there something that Viper can take away from that game though? Because he did find. He did surprise Hera, and there was a moment there, about a minute, where he was doing damage and Hera wasn't noticing, which is something that Hera usually does right away. If you're raiding him, he notices immediately.
I mean, I think the positive here from Viper, it was messy. He got lots of damage in, wasn't able to defend himself. What it could have been is that Hera defended all Viper's attacks, and then eventually just drugged the game out and dominated him the whole time like he did versus Hart. So Viper was competitive in that game. That I think there's the positive, but we'll see what Riley thinks
with
at
Jordan,
the moment.
Of course.
Well, thanks very much, boys. The energy is pretty high down in the main stage area, but things are a little more relaxed up here in our analyst tower, Jordan. We've got our travelling bard with us here, and it's a great pleasure to be sitting here and watching the action unfold. Jordan, talk us through game number one. Hera on the board here, but as the casters were just explaining, Viper really putting in a lot of effort there.
Yeah, I think in this game specifically, 2 points are to mention here. So the first one was Viper going for a dock. It's a questionable decision in my opinion, because you're investing a lot and you're spreading yourself out very thin. And on a close map like that, that can be very, very dangerous, as we saw. And also Viper, he was raiding with a bit of army, like four archers there on the left-hand side, killing villagers. That was obviously good. However, the main storyline is that his main army was too small, and Hera had a lot of scouts, a lot of skirms, and he was just able to like completely destroy Viper's main army. And from there, he had map control, and he was able to take control of the entire game.
So that was the neutral map, and now how it'll work is Viper, as the loser, will get to pick the next map. Then obviously both players pick their civs for that map. So let's have a chat about that process. What are your thoughts in terms of what maybe the next map that we may see, some of the civs that may come out, or maybe even just overall thoughts and feelings on the drafts, what the players ended up with?
So in general, I was very surprised to see the draft, because we saw Saracens and Georgians not being banned there, and they're considered to be the top 3 civilizations, or 2 of the top 3. So I was trying to get also discussions there with others, and we were not really able to figure it out. So the next map is going to be a Gone Stream, and I know that Viper feels very comfortable on that map specifically. I would not even be surprised to see either Poles or Huns on that map for Viper. Poles is also a very interesting choice there, because the meta is kind of booming a lot and then also spamming light cap, so Poles is very good for that. And yeah, let's see. Hera, if I'm not mistaken, has Armenians up his sleeve.
He does, so yes. I think that was his last pick.
It was his last pick, so I guess, if it's like last pick, it's kind of the throwaway pick, but Armenians is still very strong. But it shows that Hera is not really focusing to win on that map.
Okay, final thought from you, Jordan. As we head into Golden Stream, you can see the players getting ready. And if they start, we'll jump straight down to the match, don't you worry. Jordan, for newer viewers, for viewers who aren't super aware of how these games play out, as we see now, indeed, Viper picking Poles.
Yes.
Yes, Jordan, look at that. This is why he gets paid the medium bucks, my friends. This is why he's here. And Armenians on the other side. Jordan, why did you retire, mate? Not so washed after all, it seems.
Yeah.
No, for the viewers who may be a bit newer to Age of Empires, maybe not a huge amount of experience with the game and how it goes, talk to us about what we need to keep an eye on in this match. What's going to be important? What are the things that matter and are going to determine who wins?
The most important thing is going to be how both players are going to be able to defend themselves early on and then get going with the economy.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes now. We are underway, so we won't waste any more time. Back down to the casters. T90 and Dave, take us away for game number 2.
Welcome to game number 2, folks. Here we are. We are in it, and expect this map to bring some crazy action. Hera picking the Armenians. This is his last pick. I think that's notable here. If Hera gets a win, that's going to feel like a win and a half, and he's going to open with a stable. Surprise, surprise. So scouts from both players, but Dave, while I don't expect a ton of action, there will be some scouts around. What's the game plan for Viper here with the Poles? This isn't normally a water civilization.
I've seen a couple players on the ladder attempt to play Poles here, and the general consensus was that you just farm, you boom up, you try and keep your opponent off the middle for as long as possible, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to get your full works out, you're trying to get your farms out, you're trying to expand your eco at a rate which your enemy can't compete with. Now, Viper didn't find the base from Hera early. Mapu was pointing that out. He still hasn't found him, but he was only there with one scout, so he's going to come along with a friend, and he's going to make his way around Hera's base and look for some opportunities. Hera has added that stable as well, and finally, that house that Mapu has been obsessed with is being built on the side there. As Hera comes in, some quick walls defensively there from the Viper. Let's see if he can trap these scouts in potentially. There is a villager idol on the house. Can Viper save this one? Hera's got the spearman in front. If he could save it, it would be a big deal, but no, the villager goes down and Hera gets the first Vil snipe of the game.
Yeah, Viper's going to trap these in here. Viper says, you're going to stay. You wanted my villager, you're going to stay, and you're going to lose both your scouts. Not bad value there for the Viper in the end. And his scouts also got pushed away from Hera, so
that's fine.
Nice play there from. I think
scouts for a Vil. I'll take that on Empire Wars.
Yeah, I think like the positive though, if you're Hera here though, it's not like many villagers are usually going to die here. So that villager kill was something that you weren't expecting, in my opinion. I'm just noticing that Viper's base setup is very close to the water here. That could actually be a bit of an issue. If there's ships there, that's going to range all that along the front. It does also mean that Viper's maybe a little bit closer to the gold, just ever so slightly. I don't know if it's going to play a big role, but the gold is extremely important.
They also have base setups that are in the corner. Usually you're in the center of the map here, which means you need to kind of wall in 3 different directions, the front side and both sides of your base.
Yep.
Viper can kind of just wall diagonally, and the same for Hera. And they have that whole corner back there to boom in. And with a civ like Poles, where booming is your objective, that could really play out in Viper's favor. However, he still has to match up against the fact that in the late game, Armenians are going to have significantly better naval capabilities to hold this golden stream in the middle.
Yeah, as far as the tech tree goes, I think this is Armenians, like, clearly, right? You have the Navy, you have the strong infantry, Poles are usually on Cav, so you have the fantastic Halbs to deal with that. But I think Viper has shown us before that he is okay with skipping Navy on this map. What he did in Game 7 against Leary in the semifinals was ridiculous. I thought he was dead. It was against Armenians as well, by the way. He just waltzed some villagers across the map before the Navy became a factor, ignored the middle gold, dropped some forward castles, and as we see some dancing here, which is incredible. Hera's like, come back here.
Viper says, come this way.
And this is probably going to continue, but I think Viper's approach clearly is to try and raid, and it wouldn't surprise me if I see villagers walk across the river at some point with that purpose in mind.
How many, like, at what timing does he go across the river, though? Because it feels like with Poles, you got to get the TC set up as we're now waiting again. Players potentially paused here.
Yeah, it's most likely a pause.
Issue again.
And they'll be back in. Maybe a fly landed on their forehead like it did for me day 1. Haven't seen too much of that, but we are outside. And we'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, so to answer your question, right, I think you don't just want to send the Vils right now. You're not going to break Hera right away. The Armenian setup's going to be really good for the eco.
Yeah.
And then you're just going all in too early. You want time with the Poles to seed your own farms, get those upgrades, but I think ultimately probably we're going to see a lot of posturing in the middle with scouts. Like have upgrade probably for both. And then Viper's just going to put his foot on the pedal, right? I think Hera can't do that with Lightcav, not with this civilization. So my thinking would be Hera's going to have to he's probably going to open Lightcav and then make a switch into Pikeman.
Yep.
And we might even see the rare Halbin Castle Age from Hera. Armenians can do that, and it would make a lot of sense if Cav is coming. So
I mean, it's just a much easier transition. If you can get that Halberdier tech on the way up to Imperial Age or even in late Castle Age, it's so devastating because Halb is so much better than Pikeman, as we say hello to a watch party that is happening in Argentina, of all places.
Look at that. Do they know? Did they know they're about to be on stream right now? There's going to be a couple second delay here until they all realize that they're on the live broadcast. Welcome, everybody. And
apparently not.
Apparently
they don't understand a word that's coming out of our mouths.
I can't. Oh, well, they also may not be watching. It may be the delay.
Yeah.
It also could be they're watching the Spanish cast.
Oh, true.
And it's showing us on screen right now.
Oh, true. But it's showing them on screen right now, and there's no reaction.
Yeah. No, I'm guessing they might be listening to Nacho and Mario. Anyways, so good to see people come together there.
And here we are. We're back.
And here we are. We're back in business. So
a little bit later along in the game, though. We are in Castle Age. Nothing much has happened. We look at the KD. It's 6-3, as we have 43 Vils for Viper, and we have 49 villagers here for Hera. Hera sitting on 3 town centers, Viper sitting on 3 town centers of his own. Wheelbarrow coming in for both. But the Warrior Priests, 4 town centers for Hera. The Warrior Priests are available for Hera to grab those relics extremely quickly, and there's 5 of those on the map.
Yeah, so that's what's nice here. So a bonus we didn't talk about with the Armenians is their mule cart upgrades are more efficient. So that is affecting all those wood choppers, which is why Hera was able to afford to get to the TCs and get all these upgrades and farms out. So lots of relic fighting right now, but I still think in the back of your minds, people, you need to be thinking about how are they going to play this. Viper can't go up against an infantry civ through the middle. I would love to see even like maybe a sneaky siege workshop. Yesterday he went for a castle on the far side. Maybe you could go Navy. You get decent enough upgrades. But when you're against Armenians, it seems like Viper's going to have to be more creative than that.
And Viper hasn't gotten heavy plow yet with the poles.
Interesting.
And he's lagging behind in resources collected right now, which is not usually a situation the poles are going to be in. He also just doesn't have as much relics. Hera with an impressive quick wall there, trying to get the conversion, doesn't manage to get it. There's still a hole on that wood line, but Viper just now adding that 4th town center, and he is behind economically. Let's see if he can catch up.
I think Poles are this crazy civilization where on paper they can be out-civved so hard.
Yeah.
But because everything becomes so cheap for them later on, and because they can get such crazy army numbers on the field, they could still grind you down.
Plow.
Yeah, I think Viper thinks he has it.
Plow.
I think he thinks he has it, but there's an overchop from Hera. The choppers were too efficient, and Viper's gonna love this. Dude, Viper's never gonna leave. He's never going to leave. Like, if you get through into Hera's economy when it's untouched, you're just going to move right through, and Viper needed that, and look at all the farmers that have to run away right now for Hera.
Yeah, and Viper even getting the armor. Hera doesn't even have fletching for the TCs or the fortified churches. Viper trying to avoid taking as much damage as possible. He's just picking away at these farmers, as Hera does so often when he's in the eco in a similar position. Unfortunately for Viper, he does lose one of those light cap, but the Knight is forced back. Plenty of idle time here. Plenty of room for Viper to potentially catch up. Still no heavy plow for the farms. He definitely thinks he has it.
Yeah, he probably does, but you're still getting more. You're still getting the food boost that your opponent's not from Horse Collar. And we'll see if Viper can eventually sort that one out. If he thinks he has it, we might not see it till later, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
But this is huge right here. Viper gets a peek at what Hera's doing or what he's not doing, and Viper could get whatever relics are left on the map right now. Think about map control, because Hera has to send his military back here, and Hera has to focus on this really pesky relic.
Well, I think Viper is grabbing that 3rd relic because Hera gets an extra one as Armenians, and I believe there was 5 total. And I don't see the other one on the map. So it wouldn't surprise me if Viper were, there we go, he dropped off the 3rd one. So 3 relics to 3 relics heading into the later stages of this game. Hera still with the eco advantage, trying to save the monk, Viper trying to snipe, he gets it.
Wow, beautiful snipe. That was also a really nice play from Hera there. He almost blocked it off. But again, like, what an annoying situation to have to deal with. Hera's thinking, I'm fully walled. This is completely fine for me. And so over the last couple moments, we've had more positive conversations for Viper than Hera was hoping for.
Hera's about to click up.
And Hera clicks up to Imp. That's a crazy uptime, and the Knight gets converted there. And Viper thinking about Imp as well. And now is when we think about what's your approach. I think the Armenians have to go help if they're expecting cap or maybe some pikes. The alternative is just full Navy here. You have 2 choices.
I guess the question for me is another light cav gets in, that fortified church not doing so much damage, and Hera has to retreat with the monk there from the, or with the Knight there from the monk from Viper. My question is, like, where do you put the first
He's
castle?
healing it. He's healing it right now
Viper!
over the wood line.
Not enough.
Oh, he says, fine, I'll take your bill. Dave, I'm going to be honest. I didn't hear a word you said.
Where do you put the first castle?
Okay.
I'll repeat myself. I don't blame you. He was healing the light cav.
First castle for Hera, I think, makes sense to be more towards the middle. Because it protects the water, protects the gold. First castle for Viper, if you don't have a way to protect your trebuchet, as Viper is building an outpost in Hera's base.
He's in again.
You probably build it more defensive. Viper needs his castles up for unique text. Hera might not. And again, it's just a lot of annoyance from Viper around Hera's economy right now.
Yeah, he's still got the villager inside. He sniped a monk. He's going to snipe a warrior priest. He converted 2 knights as well. And he's going to kill that knight from Hera. This is a situation Hera's not used to, where he's losing the microfights, and Viper puts the castle in the middle on the gold.
Listen, Hera was clearly thinking that he could just leave his base.
Yep.
He didn't even click the pikeman upgrade. He's been really, really slow to adding any spears. It's almost like he didn't feel like he'd ever need to. And Viper's looking good now. The gold control in the middle.
Quick wall.
Let's not forget that there's not a lot of gold elsewhere. And Viper could go for range units or maybe Navy on the water. So Viper's been a real pest here.
Yeah.
Hera is got to be like, come on, dude, stop doing this
He's going
to me.
elite skirm Hussar.
Yeah, he's just not going to spend gold. That's what
Yeah.
Poles can do. Because Armenians have an issue where their tech is kind of awkward if they don't have Navy. That's not going to be a conversion there. So Hera's going to try Navy. Otherwise, he'd go Pikes. Still no pikeman upgrade, by the way. I think the stress is getting to Hera a little bit.
Heavy plow. He finally noticed.
Yeah.
Imagine how much better this would have been with heavy plow.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, the farm setup is there, and they're going to be reseeding soon, and that's going to be even more food income flying in for him. He has 3 relics. He's got a lot of vision on the sides. Hera still very late with large pike numbers. Sheesh. And Hera, I think, wants to try and fight on water here.
I mean, he could go for the Dromans right away. I think you need a few ships before that, and you can see him queuing up the galleys, getting the war galley tech right now, and then you can go for the Dromans and try and take out that castle. However, Viper has a Treb set up, and he might be able to kill the docks before the techs come in.
Yeah, I'd like 1 or 2 Trebs, and then just researching conscription. Makes a lot of sense there for Viper. And we have another pause here, folks. I do not know why it's a pause. It could be a hotkey issue or something. We'll see if we get into that, but my apologies. But it's just heating up here, Dave, so hopefully we get back in here soon. So Siege Workshop from Viper we just saw.
Yeah.
That could become a problem for Hera. So he's going to be split in 2 mines. He needs the gold back. He needs to stop Viper from building those buildings on the sides. Armenians don't get bombard cannon. They don't get siege ram. You kind of need to use the Dromans almost as their best form against buildings.
Gunpowder
so
can be very effective against Armenians.
Yeah, true.
Especially if Viper takes out those docks early and Hera has to keep replacing them, right? You saw him building up the composite bowman. You saw him kind of adding those barracks there. He's trying to push out, but Viper with the excellent timing with that castle, and we'll see how good the eco is behind. I think I saw him on like 50 farms with poles. That might be enough to just keep spamming in units and keep Hera preoccupied while he kind of builds up his tech.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get to this point. If this is what you want, to be able to use the spam as a distraction, he's gotten there. And a lot of it was because of the initial hole, I think. Because Viper used the initial hole and distraction to be able to move away with the rest of the light cav. So Hera's priority, I think you don't have to be that scared of light cav on the side of your base right now.
Yeah.
He's got, what, 10 or 15 pikes?
No, he's all condensed in that corner.
Just patrol those pikes, and priority number 1 then is Navy.
Yeah.
I don't know if Navy can work if it's right next to the castle, and like, I've never seen Polish winged hussars against galleons before. I know it's easier to spam the hussars, but the galleons, I guess, are more expensive. I don't know. We'll see.
I think winged hussar are very strong, especially after you get that tech. It's incredible. As we're just rebooting some stuff here, and we're going to get this game back on your screens, folks. We have a lovely view of the castle here. This set is going to be incredible, and Viper looked like he was the one who had the advantage in the micro battles early in this game, which is something we don't often say against a player of Hera's caliber.
I mean, I think the whole you can't be overly critical of with Hera, right?
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. I am really surprised that it took him so long to add a barracks, right? Like a second barracks, rather, and get the pikeman upgrade. So that's one thing that Hera, I think, he's going to struggle with when he's under pressure is those transitions. But again, folks, thanks for your patience. We talk about all these things ahead of time because we're not going to really be able to break it down fully here in just moments. It is going to be very fast and very action-packed here, as we'll see galleons and hussars. But
Potentially. That's what we think. Viper has a siege workshop on the other side. He could ram push. You never know.
I think like Arbalest. Viper wants Arbalest, Hussar, land battle, straight up. But so the siege workshop's probably a start of that.
Yeah.
But what he doesn't have yet is anything to protect his siege from pikemen because he's only making.
And Hera also still has the better eco.
Yes, he does. Now that's like in terms of res collected right now, he doesn't have a relic lead, even though he started with the free one, and he doesn't have access to the gold in the middle. So he's on a bit of a timer here. And I think that's important to note. And I also think Armenians are just way harder to play because of the lack of mobility. And the mobility is just so important in Empire Wars. Vipers use that. Back to my point earlier at the start of the series, Viper cannot give up early games here against Hera. He's too consistent. This has to be Viper's win, in my opinion. He's got to tie it up 1-1, or it's going to be really tough road back for him in this best of 9.
I mean, it is a best of 9, but still, we didn't really have that much hope for Viper after he was down 2-0 against Leary. Imagine being down at 2-0 against Hera, who seems to be another step ahead of Leary at the moment. Viper did make that comeback happen, though, so maybe he can do the same here. However, it's looking like Hera is in a decent position, Viper as well, and this game still up for grabs.
Okay, so I'm being told
in the game here, folks.
Being told we are back in business. We had a pause, and we are going to be good to go here in a moment. Remember, Viper needs this one. Obviously, Hera needs it as well. And let's see how this goes again, folks. Thank you very much for your patience. We amped this up all day, and any delays. I mean, there's some people here in Spain whistling right now in the crowd, trying to get things to keep going. And, well, Viper's got a lot of upgrades to snag. There he is, just speaking to one of the members of our team here. And we will be in game number 2 here soon. I'm going with, I'm really curious to see what Viper can do to compete with the Navy. Here we are, back into it. Viper there with that Treb. We've got skirms. We've got cavalry for him. No Navy. Hera's going to be massing that Navy, but he's a couple steps behind. He's losing his docks, and he's got the distraction aspect with Viper all around the map with skirmishers
look at the text coming in from Hera. He's got Halberdier, sure, but also men-at-arms.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And the light cav are in on the stone from Hera, so Viper is all over the place. He's got light cav in the back. He's got light cav on the sides. He's killed some of those composite bowmen, and he keeps working away on the docks, so Hera has to be careful on where he's getting his naval techs. Meanwhile, behind this, Viper with crop rotation, 50 farms, and look at the farms from Hera just being raided to death.
Now, Hera is kind of split in two minds here, right? He wants to go for champions because it's great with the Armenians, but he still doesn't have Bracer. He still doesn't have, like, Galleon. And while he is going to have the ships there to protect his Trebs, there's so many different things for Hera to have to worry about right now. What I'm impressed with, though, is with all these things that's happening, he's still at 180 pop.
Yes.
How is that possible?
And Viper has been housed at 175 for a while, so if that castle falls, it's going to be problematic for Viper. He needs to keep that thing alive. He's got another castle going up in the north, but there's no villagers there to repair. I love the fact that Hera is keeping the war galleys next to the Treb so they can tank some of the shots from Viper's Treb, which is shooting at them. He's going to take the castle down, and Viper is still housed here. Finally gets that sorted, but the castle in the middle is about to fall, and it already has.
Important moment, Hera noticing that Viper is going for the castle in the north. As Hera will reclaim the middle, or claim it for the first time, he knows that castle is going up, and he will have watched that game with Viper against Leary on this map, and he will know now that he cannot allow this distraction to matter too much. So he's going to defensive castle here. He's getting Galleon. He's getting upgrades for the infantry. But that is Viper's win condition, using the land and avoiding the water now.
Yeah, Viper has to prevent himself from being kicked off that side of Hera's island. If he lets Hera just control the water, it's going to be an uphill slog the entire way. However, if he has villagers over here, if he denies a castle over here, could be potential for a Viper win in game number 2. Hera's going to force this down, and it looks like that castle will go up as Hera moves those Trebs to that center island. He's going to start taking that gold. Viper going for another castle on Hera's side.
Well, this is the thing. Viper's got 2 bombard cannons there, so that castle goes up finally, but it's not going to stay up if Hera doesn't have army there. And Hera's got the Halbs, he's got the Galleons, he's got all these things that counter what Viper has, but Viper's positioning is fantastic, and Hera's still not showing anything except Halb. Now, let's not forget that Arbalest is an option here for the polls. So I think if Viper sees Hera goes into champion, he can use those archer ranges and start to make Arbalest instead, and then champion could be really complicated for Hera.
Yeah, I mean, the Winged Hussar coming into the back of Hera's base. Hera, though, classic Hera fashion, dropping those defensive castles. Wouldn't even surprise me to see one go down in the center of his farming eco just to keep himself safe. Viper's still pushing that castle. Can Hera hold this position? There's a gold there. Of course, he's got the gold in the center, but it's not safe yet. There's 2 bombard cannons and a Treb from Viper, along with the skirmishers to protect.
Hera needs to know his tech tree here, and he needs to snag the unique tech for the Armenians. He could get one of them, which benefits the Navy. He could also go for the other one, which adds infantry HP. I don't think you need the Navy one right now. Your Navy's strong, but if you're going to show champion here, Hera, you got to get the tech. And Hera, he might need the only place he's going to be able to get gold soon is in the middle, because the side of his base is being pushed in,
very exposed,
and here comes Viper.
Yeah, and Viper's pushing forward with those bomber cannons. He's trying to get the Trebs. He almost got the Trebs there. Hera getting champion in the forward barracks here. I don't think Viper Viper is going to be able to take that out, and Viper is trying to go for a castle on the hill as he so often does. Arbalest coming in for Viper. He's got the elite skirms to stop the Halb, but Hera is making the transition into those strong Armenian champions.
Yeah, and he's getting Feriders, and he will have 100 HP on these champs. But Viper is going to have Arbalest. Viper needs to snipe the Trebs. Viper's castle will go up. And Hera's going to lose his trebuchet's there. Viper with an amazing find. And unfortunately, okay, we're good. False alarm, people. False alarm. We continue on here.
JK.
And, oh, man. I mean, what a moment for this. Listen, Hera's got problems. Hera's got big problems in his base, Dave. I don't see it turning around. And I'm very curious on what he can do. I think usually if your base is being pushed, and you have control elsewhere, you need to use that control. So I would say you want to use the Navy to try and kill Viper, but he kind of needs to use the Navy in other ways here. So we'll see. And again, unfortunately, pauses. I'm not too sure. We're not up to speed on things right now, but we are at 29-31 and paused. But yeah. I'm not seeing skirmisher transition from Hera, and he hasn't used his galleons on the front of Viper's base. That's Hera's way back, in my opinion. Is galleons on the front?
I want to keep watching.
Galleons on the front, trebuchets. Being told it's a pause.
Yep.
And we don't know. We don't really know why. It could be like if players think about it in an intense moment. Maybe you start to stutter or lag a little bit because someone in this medieval castle forgot to pay their Wi-Fi bill. Then maybe you prefer to pause. Yeah. And wait for it to settle. So if we hear word, we'll let you know. But clearly the two players are not playing right now, so we're not missing any action, Dave.
I am so tense.
Me too, dude.
I am so tense.
Me too.
That was gearing up to be just an epic game, and it's going to be an epic finish on that one. Hera, of course, pushing through the middle there. Viper pushing through the sides, as he did so well against Leary yesterday. And our crowd, you can hear the reactions as soon as the pauses come in. They're not happy.
You know what it reminds me of? And I hope the crowd still loves me after I say this, but I've watched quite a few La Liga matches over the years, right? And if there's not enough stoppage time or the referees, a little questionable, you get the whistles, you get the frustration, hey, give me my football, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me of here.
Do you remember when Viper won at Red Bull 5?
Uh-huh.
And there was a 30-minute gap for reasons we couldn't control between Game 6 and Game 7. How much tension that built?
I was very tense.
At the time, it wasn't that great, but I think it just heightened every emotion possible.
Yep.
For that final victory for Viper. It was an incredible moment, and maybe we will see something similar again here as we're endeavoring to get this game rolling.
Yeah.
And to see the final conclusion of game number 2.
I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say Viper wins this one, right? Mm-hmm. Hera's about to lose the side of his base. Hera just lost trebuchets, and Hera doesn't have a single answer to Arbalest. Any other civ, he loses. I think we find out real quick how good these champions really are because that extra 100 HP, or point. Not extra 100 HP, but total HP. Of 100 HP, total of 30 HP, is really something he needs to rely on here.
And, Hera, he had the barracks at the front there that was getting the upgrade. That barracks could have easily gone down, and if that had happened, I mean, maybe it's a different story here for Viper, and Hera is forced to wait even longer for that tech switch to come in because it's been a while. It's been 5-6 in-game minutes as he's been trying to make that tech switch, and Viper has had time and has had the foresight to switch into crossbows and then Arbalest.
Yeah, this is so cool. What a shot, man. What a shot. This is real life. Game 2 needs to go to the Viper right now. I think he is feeling very comfortable with his position.
Yes.
I do want to credit Viper. He did something that's kind of hard to realize. We can see everything, so we know when techs are coming in.
Yes.
But Viper, I don't think he saw two-handed swordsmen or champions, right? But what he would have done in that position is he would have said, what am I vulnerable to right now? What would I do in Hera's position? What does he have access to? And so he already had the tech for range units, and he had Arbalest kind of at the perfect time. So doesn't have a lot of them right now, but still, that was huge.
To Hera's credit, this has not been an easy game. He's got his eco into a state that is super impressive given the fact that Viper's been all over him.
Yep.
And he's been slowly pushing out towards that middle. He had the naval control. He's getting his tech switches in a way that only Hera can do. I mean, Hera has been in absolute beast mode this game based off the pressure coming from his opponent.
There's a lot that Hera can do right now. Lots of things to think about.
He snuck that one in.
Listen, I mean, they have a lot of time to chew on a very important moment of the game. Okay, you don't normally have that. Hera should recognize that he's going to lose his base. When this game on pauses, he needs to go nuts. And I think forward castle at Viper's base, a couple trebuchets forward, because Viper doesn't have a way to stop that if there's Navy there. And we could have a base trade of some kind soon. But remember, we haven't really seen the Champions v Arbalest fight yet. Viper is making progress, but he didn't fully kill Hera yet, and Hera has access to the gold in the middle.
Yep.
What a moment.
Okay, so we should be back into this one shortly. Thank you for your patience. I see some thumbs up happening between Hera and Viper. It's just building the tension for all of us, folks, here in the castle and at home.
And the champions are good.
Pushes forward, but Obuk now are out, and the Arbalists are behind, and Viper still has this castle here. He's still trying to raid, but there's a defensive castle there from Hera, and Hera is trying to secure that middle island.
Listen, I'd love to see Hera. Screw securing the island. Can you possibly go further forward or something? Because you're going to lose your base to Viper. Viper might have lost a lot there, but he still has his siege. He's actually going for elite Obuk here from the 3 forward castles. This unit shreds armor and has really good stats themselves. It's a 95 HP unit that takes away armor, Dave. What can Hera do now?
What do Armenians do on land against Obuk and Arbalest? I mean, I know I love the water for Hera, and the water tech tree is fantastic, but if Viper just ignores the water on a typically water-heavy map, what are they going to do? Is Viper trying to snipe those trebs? Hera trying to snipe the bomber cannon? Champions have so much HP, though, and Hera is just beating face into this army.
He says, take my armor. It doesn't matter. Look at this fight. Now, it's cost-effective for champions to an extent, but he is throwing away a lot of units for this, and we need to see more positives for Hera elsewhere. But a great job, a crazy job from Hera to hold, as he might even trap down this castle.
Those Armenian champions are absolutely insane. The production is insane from Hera. I believe I saw 10 barracks producing for him, and the champions just keep pushing in. The Obuk can't keep up. Viper trying to repair that castle, but Hera might be able to take back this position. The Arbalists are still alive, and Viper retreats. The castle's about to fall. Hera's made a pushback.
And he's got tons on gold, Dave. Tons on gold in the middle. Viper's going to have to find a unique way to stop that. There's churches there to protect the vills. There's a castle there to protect the vills. But Viper still has villagers here and the ability to build up a base here. He still has access to gold at home, and he's not spending a ton of gold overall if you consider that Arbalest is really the only gold unit he seems to be producing. I guess he's got the Obuk as well, but those things are also quite cheap. So he can do this for a while yet.
And you can tell Hera's kind of thinking about in the same way, like, how can I lose this game? One of the ways he can lose this game is those winged hussar getting into his economy. So he's made that defensive castle, that stereotypical Hera castle inside of the farms where very few players would place it. That's going to make it difficult for Viper to get these villager kills. However, he is over on the other side harassing the stone now.
I'm worried for Hera because it's still just champion, right? So surely Viper's going to have enough time to gather his troops and figure this out.
Against 28.
Yeah, like Hera, in all honesty, it's a really difficult choice here. What other unit do you make? I would say a ranged unit. He does have castles. We could see composite bowmen, which actually ignore armor as well. But it hasn't happened yet. And he's going to most likely continue to be threatened on this side.
And the barracks are going down.
Hera needs, in my opinion, this is the only way back right now, is Navy doing damage on Viper's shoreline.
Well,
Viper has nothing there.
Yep.
It needs to happen there, Dave.
But like if you put your resources and your population, more importantly, into Navy on that side, what is there to stop Viper's push on the other side? I mean, we look at the army numbers. Hera's now cut up as he's got another wave of champions coming forward. Viper just doing the step back micro with the Arbalists.
These things are insane. Viper's got to back up here, dude. He's got to back up with those traps. Viper, you don't have gold in the middle. You can't lose traps. These champions are too strong. 100 HP champions are doing the job, and Hera is holding on with the gold in the middle.
Yeah, Viper managing to save the Arbalist, though. He's going to go the long way around with the siege, but unfortunately, Hera is giving chase. as Viper is just trying to get some form of a meat shield in between his Arbalest and the army. He is looping around with the Trebs. Can he possibly save those?
I don't think Viper believes this right now. I think he's taking these fights thinking he's going to win, because I'm casting these fights.
Is he going to save these Trebs?
Thinking he's going to win. Like, there will be Castle Fire. Hera will take one. Hera could possibly take two. Viper needs to save it. He will save it, unless that champion has something to say about it. But again, Dave, what a crazy moment here from Hera. I'm looking at this thinking pure infantry can never work against Olbuk. Yep. Pure infantry can never work against Arbalest, and it is working.
And a Viper, very little in the queue. He's got plenty of resources there. He queues up 15 more Winged Hussar, but the Arbalists are dying. Hera is just pushing Siege and Champion only on the land. At the same time, he's pushing on the water. This is a crazy push here from Hera. He's got so much military population. Viper used to have the lead, and now that's gone.
Yeah, and I think this is really bad for the Viper. I mean, we talked about how he probably needs this position to work, right? And what other units can he try here with the pulls? It's kind of limited. It's going to be the Winged Hussar, the Arbalest, and maybe the occasional Olbuk. And if that's not working, Hera's got gold to spend for days. He protects his Trebs. He could push this back, and he's also on the water right now, starting to disrupt the edges of Viper's eco. What a turnaround from Hera.
Viper trying to snipe the Trebs. He already got one. He's going to get two. He's going to get three, so Hera's push will be a little bit stalled out. However, we saw the champions just casually sitting underneath the castles. They really don't.
Yeah, I mean, they're slower, right? They don't have range. These are normally the things that you look to in Age of Empires as a weakness, but
Viper
they are cheap.
Viper's at 80 farms.
80 farms?
With pulls.
But where can he raid in that Hera economy? Honestly, Hera's not mining stone. Why not just buy even more? Get castles up everywhere if you can to prevent these raids from doing much against you.
And the champions are just going after the castle. They're just going straight after the castle. He says, what siege do I need? I have swords, and I have HP. And he's killing the castle from 5,200 HP down to 1,000 now, less than 1,600, 500, 300, 200, 100. It's dead. Hera just pushing without a care in the world with the champions as Viper still trying to raid at the back.
And I think Hera, to finish this game, we talked about the water, could just send champions into Viper's eco, right? It's not normally a raiding unit, but Hera clearly has the better units on the field. The only thing that he's missed to kill off Viper is kill off that economy. And it seems like it is so close to the second victory from Hera, and a really devastating loss for the Viper.
Yeah, and Viper's buying more wood here even as he tries to queue up those Winged Hussars. They're just not living long enough for him to get a decent army mass. He's at 31 military right now. His population has been below 150 for quite a while. Hera very comfortably spamming the champions, and at this point it just doesn't seem like he needs anything else.
Yeah, and the champions are going right into the eco. Viper's in disbelief right now. Viper's in disbelief. I am in disbelief. Arbalest and Elite Olbuk, to me, feel like the easy combination to win that fight. I think a big thing that benefited Hera on top of the HP is he just had so many production buildings because it was just one type of unit, whereas Viper was trying to combine. But my goodness there. Viper took fights clearly thinking he would win them.
Yes.
And I think when we had that unfortunate pause, he probably felt like he was in the better position. And now he's staring down the barrel.
Yeah, and the Winged Hussar is still just trying to fight the champions, but the champions are a much better matchup as Viper is back up to 45 military, 160 pop overall. However, he's really struggling to kill the champions from Hera. He's snagging villagers here and there. He's killed 118 villagers this game. Hera doesn't care. He's got 61 champions with 45 in the queue. The Arbalists now that Viper are making are being killed as they come out the archery ranges, and I saw murder holes actually come in for Hera, so even underneath these castles, nothing doing for Viper. Hera takes game 2.
Did you see the stats there? Did you see the numbers? Hera made over 300 champions. And
in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and those 300 champions countered the mix that Viper had. Viper made the Hussars, he made the Skirms, he made the Arbs. I guess he didn't have over 63 Olbuk. So it clearly was a numbers thing for Hera, but it was the, as Mem would like to say, the timing and the momentum there from Hera. It looked like he was on the back foot, and then those champions solved the problem. I mean, how frequently can you push back a base like that? with multiple castles, excuse me, without many trebuchets, right? It's like the infantry did the job.
Also, a number there that I noticed that isn't usual. The EAPM for Viper, 1 below on average than Hera. Viper is gaming today, but it wasn't enough. It was not enough in game number 2. We thought he might have it. Hera with the more meta civilization here. Viper trying something a little bit different, but Hera realizing that if he just gets champions with Feriders, gives it a chance and gets that production rolling, he could steamroll right past those castles of Viper.
Okay, so civ-wise, not the end of the world for Viper, because Poles was a later pick, right? But it was also a very late pick for Hera. So Hera's going to be feeling very good about that. Map-wise, not the best for the Viper, because that was one of his home maps, and now he's down 2-0. But we saw a similar story against Leary yesterday. Now, before the series, I said that I think Viper needed a fast start. He couldn't be shaky. He couldn't be rusty, and then wake up in Game 3. In all honesty, I haven't seen any shakiness or rust from Viper here. Game 1 was maybe a little unorthodox in certain ways, but Viper's looking good. You could take positives from that, because if slight things go differently there, you get the win. But that also could be a very negative feeling as we see Viper step off stage here. Maybe
Hera
just a quick break.
looks incredible today.
Yeah.
As he does most days, to be fair.
But Viper was 2-0 down yesterday. He came back. That series went 4-3 in the semifinals. He's done it many times. That's kind of part of what has made Viper Viper, right? Yeah. Is how he has come back from tough situations. So we'll see if he can do that yet again here. But, I mean, what's that? Hera 4-0 to semifinal.
Yep.
2-0 now start to the final. He's 6-0 right now. Like, the dude hasn't tasted a loss in, like, 4 days or something like that. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, he's only played, what, 3 sets now?
Well, it would have been, I think, 2 on day 1.
3 sets coming into this, so this is his 4th.
Yeah,
and,
true.
You know, it's an easy path when you just win all your sets and you have no losses.
Yeah.
Straight to the finals. We'll have a listen on what Jordan thinks about this after game number 2. I mean, I'm sure I'd love to hear his perspective on what Viper's going through right now.
So much. Yeah, I too want to hear what Jordan thinks about this one. Map 1 was a quick one. We can get into that in just a little bit. But first I want to talk about this second map. We did see Poles being picked here. Not the most common sight, not a common sight at all, in fact. How do you feel about the Poles on this very map, as we've not really seen that being played here yet?
So first of all, when I saw Poles, I was thinking this could be tricky. However, thinking about the meta of this game, or on this map, is that the light cav and booming style is very, very common, and that's where Poles really excels. So at the end of the day, I felt like it was a good pick overall, and I also felt like Viper was in a good position. However, it felt like him not having heavy plow with Poles early castle age was just a huge blunder. I saw it also on his face when he reached Imperial age and he was about to click crop rotation and he realized, oh no, I don't have heavy plow, right? So he was really shaking there.
I mean, generally, like for a good portion of that game, Viper seemed very confident, and then suddenly it started to all unravel and get out of control. Where was the turning point, you feel? When do you feel like Hera definitely had the edge from here on?
Yeah, so there was a moment where Viper was pushing on Hera's base very well, but I think him not really decisively choosing either the Obuk or the Arbalest as a main unit was something which really was kind of destroying him in terms of not committing to a unit which was really needed to kill the champions, right? And Hera did a good job, because I was thinking, how would Hera defend that push? And he had the middle control with the gold, so champions was the perfect unit choice from him. And Viper really struggled with the push with the champions, and then unfortunately for him, Hera was just too dominant there.
If we're looking back at map 1, then, I mean, that was just a very dominant performance from Hera. It was a quick one. Such an oppressive play style when you're going up against the Hera in that form. Was there any in at all? Was there anything you feel like if the Viper would have done this or that, this could have maybe gone differently?
I think the biggest problem for Viper there was him splitting his army. I mean, he got some villager kills, that was good, but his main army was just way too weak compared to Hera's scout and skirmisher numbers, and we see Hera just dominating the army there. And yeah, it was just tough for Viper getting demolished like that early on in Emperor Wars. It's just so dangerous because the snowball is happening there, and yeah, we saw Hera winning game 1 very fast there, and yeah, I mean on game 2 I felt like Viper had the advantage early in Pre-Age because he was with the castle pushing in the middle as well, and then also on Hera's mainland, but we see the pushback coming with the champions and it was just too much for Viper to handle.
Absolutely, yeah. Hera, a very fierce competitor here, of course. And now Viper once again is finding himself in the spot as he's down 0-2 in the series. That said, though, same thing yesterday against Leary, and he still managed to claw his way back in. The series went the distance. Do you expect to see the same here, or do you feel like Hera is just a different beast?
There are two opinions here. If my heart is speaking, then I'm thinking like, yes, 2-0, right? So Viper is kind of used to that against Leary yesterday as well, as we talked about. So I have hopes there, but Hera is just a little bit of a different player there, and I think he comes in a little bit more prepared than Leary, and it's going to be tricky for Viper to come back. But if anyone can do it, it will be the Viper.
It will be the Viper. The audience agreed with that assessment too. There are a lot of cheers coming in for the Vipers, so I'm sure a lot of people would love to see this one go the distance. Is there anything in particular you feel like if Viper would change this particular thing in his playstyle, he might have a better chance to make it closer or take one away?
So if I'm thinking about game 1 and game 2, we see that in game 2 Viper had a much better chance to win the game, so I felt like he was playing more according to his playstyle, going more into the macro game, which he's really excelling in the most, and I think that's something he really has to focus on, that he plays defensive, very smart in that regard, trying not to take any damage, and get into Pre-Age with a very healthy economy, and try to win the games by strategical decisions.
Yeah, the Viper, obviously a very strategic player, so it's now or never though, although that said, it is of course a best of 9, so we still have some wiggle room here for the Viper, but he should start his comeback very soon to get back into this game and, you know, walk away with some confidence as well, heading into the next few maps. I'm very excited to see how this one unfolds. For now, we're going to send it back over to T90 and Dave.
How do you order like a bard like that? Just while you're having your strategy discussions in the background. Like, is there a hotline or something?
I honestly had never thought about it. That was the last thing I ever thought you were going to come back with there. I didn't even know it was called a bard, honestly.
I mean, what else would he be?
Pass.
Bardo?
Pass. I mean, I haven't really thought about it. Just thinking more about how that went for Hera, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's like, while he plays so well under the supposed pressure here, if there were nerves, that's got to calm things so much, right? Like now you feel as though you can actually afford to make mistakes. Before, you thought, I can never make mistakes against this guy. Yeah, big advantage for Hera.
Yeah, huge advantage for Hera. And now we got some mind games for Viper. Like, you don't want to throw away the next game, right? 2-0 down, doable. You did it yesterday. 3-0 down, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if Viper goes for his most consistent map here, and then if that doesn't work, where are you then? You just got to take this one game at a time if you're Viper.
I mean, there's differing opinions on this. It depends on a lot of specifics. Yeah. But what I would like to see in this scenario is for Viper to actually go over to one of Hera's home maps. I actually think that's doable. All those maps are maps Viper can still play very well, and they both have strong civilizations for it. So it's not like Hera's got the stronger civs at this point. We're very early on. You do that, then suddenly it's 2-1. You both lost a home map.
Yeah.
And you're feeling like Hera's left with less options on his side and maybe less comfortable. So big theme with the civilizations is still strong cavalry, and I think more often than not, because Armenians are now out of the picture, we're probably still going to see that be the theme. The champions were pretty insane there. So maybe Viper liked how that game went. He enjoyed how everything went up until the champion surprised him.
Yep.
And he feels like, shoot, that's the situation I need to get back into. Let's get that win that way. If he's thinking that way, I think Mountain Dunes and Shrubland are the easy choices there. It's just, again, more of a long-term, more of an adaptable map, less in your face, which some of Hera's maps would be alternatively.
Well, I mean, we'll get our perspective from Tato, who is a reigning Wololo champion, of course. Let's go down to Riley with Tato's thoughts right now.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, boys. I'm down here on the main stage with the hometown hero, the local boy, Tato! Oh, dear. You've got an adoring crowd behind you, my friend. Oh, my goodness. It must be so incredible. We've talked about this, for you to be here on home turf with all these people cheering your name, Tato. But let's talk about the final, what we're seeing here. I don't know if we should be talking when these two can hear maybe the perspectives, the strategy. Because what I was going to ask you, what does Viper, don't listen. What does Viper have to do to get back in this match, being down 0-2? Viper, no.
Simple answer. He needs to win 3 games, right?
Okay, there we go.
Easy.
You picking that one up?
No, I don't know. Like, it's super hard to beat Hera. He's on sharp shape right now, and yeah, Viper needs to be really on point and making 0 mistakes.
And you've been in this situation before. You've been up here on the stage seeking a Red Bull championship. What does it feel like? What is going through these two players' heads, their hearts right now? Were you nervous when you were in pursuit of yours, or how did you pull off your win?
I felt nervous always the first game. It's a bit shaky, but after that, if you get into the zone and you are focusing the game, you kind of forget that you are in front of 500 people. Mm-hmm. And if you get to that point, I think you are in a really good spot, because then you are like trying just to compete and not like thinking about what is happening in the outside.
Well, we know both of these players are really locked in, right? Very strong psychological game. We've seen that, particularly from Hera over the last few seasons, the way the performances he's put up. So they'll be in good stead to do exactly that, Tato. But hopefully we'll see some more great Age of Empires. Let's hear it once again more for Tato up on the stage here. Look at that. Incredible. Well, Tato, thanks so much for joining us. We'll throw it back up to Dave and T90, who are up in the casters area.
Let's go there.
All right, well, that's a unique one where Tato, as a crowd cheering him on right in front of the two competitors. It's amazing to see the energy in the crowd. Everyone's been so fun to talk to. And thank you again, folks, for your patience. It is a very old game. It is a very old castle. And unfortunately, things go wrong from time to time, and we want to make sure that the games are followed and structured properly. The nice thing is, because this is so epic, we have so many people here who help with the things that we use.
Yeah.
Not talking about the production team, we've got people from World's Edge here. We've got people from Forgotten Empires and Capture Age. So during some of our technical difficulties, I inquired and said, hey, what's the status? And I was like, you know that such and such people are here. They're like, we've got a team of people in the room right now.
our best men are on it.
Yeah. So we're hopefully going to be able to be in the next game shortly. Players, they obviously have to sit and wait here a little bit. Don't think it's going to affect them too much because I still feel like the series has just now started. I feel like we've just gotten underway. Tato said it all, though. 0 mistakes from Viper. I'm not even sure I could say Viper made a massive mistake in the second game, and he still lost it, you know? So
yeah, Jordan mentioned not being able to pick between Arbalest and Obuk. Maybe like just 10 more Obuk would have swayed that battle. It felt like he had enough Arbalest there if he hides behind the Obuk, but the champions just ate through that army and then ate through the castles as well. And once Hera got the eco for those and got the gold supply in the middle, there was just nothing Viper.
I mean, if you think about it, right? Against Teutons, shredding the armor is nice. They have extra armor. Against Malians, shredding the armor is nice. They have the extra armor.
You need to shred HP.
You need to shred HP, and the only way you shred HP is you have a lot of damage output, which Olbuks do, but they're not as cheap. You need castles. They don't produce as fast as producing from the barracks. So it's cool to see that, though. Like I wasn't expecting to see champions in the final, not going to lie. I didn't think we see a single one. There was someone we met earlier, who said they have an event bingo card.
Oh.
Yes.
Did they have champions on there?
I do not know.
Probably supplies.
So I don't know. There might be multiple people with bingo card, but I got the idea, the feeling it was a group of people, right? And they all had separate bingo cards. And this guy came up and he told me to make a noise I normally make, like a laughing noise I do. and he like kind of was nudge about it, like he needed to win the bingo game.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
So don't make me laugh at all.
Do you
apparently.
remember who it is? Can we get an update on the bingo?
I don't know. There may be multiple people here, but I did kind of want to call that individual out for trying to sway the game. He was cheating.
Our wonderful Red Bull Wololo banner there, hanging at the highest point of this castle. We saw Riley up on the balcony there. It's beautiful on that side, right behind our main stage. Hera and Viper look on. We're just waiting for a moment here before we get into the third game, giving them plenty of time to consider their options. We are in the infant stages of this best of 9. We are 2 games deep. We still have plenty to go as Hera examines his strategy book, looking at his draft and what he has remaining. Viper just kind of considering maybe where he wants to go. Is it a Hera home map? Is it his own home map?
I am staring very intently at these maps right now, trying to do process of elimination.
So is he.
And I think, yeah, both of them probably are. I think Viper is going to opt to go Huns for something like Depression or Gulch. Possibly Karst, but Karst I think would be more of a Mayan choice for Viper because you can wall up. Hera probably going to go Tatars there on Depression, so we got like maybe Cav Archers there if we get there. I'm still really confused, or not confused rather, but just curious to see what Hera would do.
What does Hera pick on Mountain Dunes is my question, because Tatars would be a good pick there. Vietnamese is also potentially a pick
He's got Georgians,
Georgians,
insane.
Yeah.
And then he's got Berbers, and we've seen both work. So I actually think there we could see a weird one where Viper actually goes Hindustanis, trying to like out cavalry there, play into light cab, play into Imperial Camel. Again, this is the castle, folks. This is live. We've got people in the middle,
looking
of course,
in the
waiting.
windows. I can see Red Bull admin staff.
Yeah, true. They are in there on the left side. Probably not with the biggest grins on their face at this current moment, but we're getting past it.
VIP bar at the top. We've got the
sat
courtyard.
in that chair earlier.
Great.
That chair in the corner.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a great little spot.
And there's a big chessboard out there, as you've seen. There's the bow and arrow exhibit, ring toss. We've got some bars out there.
How'd you think I did?
Tent.
How'd you think I did in that human-sized chess game against Tato?
Not very good. When you have your opponent telling you what move you should make.
Well, that was only the first 4 moves.
That was the entire game. I was there. Well, you were like, is there a resign button in chess?
Yeah, apparently no resign button. But hey, in all fairness, I told Tato, he said, how experienced are you? I said,
yep.
I know how the pieces move.
Well,
so
speaking of experienced players, we have Leary down with Riley, and we're going to get his thoughts on the current state of the finals, and of course his friend Hera and his competitor Viper, who kicked him out previously in the semis.
Yes, well, thank you, boys. Once again, I'm down here in the... Oh, no, what am I... I've got no chance. Oh, my goodness.
What can you do?
Oh, my goodness. I should have brought ear protection. Holy moly. Anyway, Leary, a Red Bull Wololo champion as well. Back again here. I want to talk to you about what we're experiencing right now. Standing here, having hundreds of people chant and cheer for you and calling out your name. You've spent a lot of time on stage, not just throughout this tournament series, but literally this weekend. How does that change the way that you play? How does it change your experience of these tournaments?
It's basically a normal game, just everything amplified by 100. You guys make the experience unbelievable.
But when it comes to your in-game performance, right, does it change anything? Are you sitting there thinking, oh, there are all these people there, or is the noise a distraction, or the focus, does it make you lose focus?
Let me tell you something. We have noise-canceling headphones, and you can turn them up so you don't hear anything. But when there's a play happening, we can still hear the crowd. So keep going.
So what you're saying is, if the crowd got really coordinated, they could make it unfair and give a player a strategic advantage if they all called out exactly the same piece of advice at the same time.
I mean, it would be a good advice, would have to be a good one, but Maybe.
It's possible. It's possible. The volume of this crowd, we've heard how loud they can get.
That is true.
All right, well, we'll see if they're able to coordinate themselves in that way. But I want to ask you the same question that I asked Tatso, right?
Yep.
You've won these tournaments, you've played on the big stage, particularly yesterday, a grueling match against Viper with the crowd at your back. What does it feel like to be the center of attention in this way? Like, just as a player of this game that we love, it must lift you up.
It's impossible to describe. I mean, we all grew up playing the game. Myself too, yes, when I was like 8 years old.
He's still growing up. He's 14 next week.
Yeah, there you go. 2 weeks.
Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. Sorry.
But yeah, this is the game we all grew up with, and playing in front of hundreds of viewers and tens of thousands of viewers online. And, you know, just having a crowd that cheers you up no matter what, and just hypes everything up.
Oh, he's playing them like a fiddle, my friends. Leary, thanks so much for coming to hang out with us, mate. I'll let you get back to your evening. The Red Bull Wololo champion, multiple times over, it's Leary! Thanks, mate. Good on you.
Leary can't give advice, but I've got a good piece of advice. Always put your castles on hills. And I mean, we've got a castle on a hill here, and we're going to show you a little bit more about the amazing view and the amazing setup we have here at this beautiful castle.
Hilltop castles like this one often command supreme views of the surrounding countryside, breathtaking vistas that you can stand on top of a tower like this and enjoy. But this also had a military benefit, of course. It meant that you could see your enemies coming from a lot further off than you would have been able to otherwise. And while thankfully we're not too worried about medieval armies rampaging across the countryside and besieging the castle, it's still important for us to show people who the real masters of this castle are. And what better way to do that than by raising the flag of Red Bull Wololo here at Castillo de Almodóvar.
The flag has been raised.
So we were talking about this, right? We were talking about castles and how and no one could ever siege this castle, take this castle, right? That's what we felt like, right? I mean, you'd be walking up this massive hill.
Unless you have a death wish.
People would be rolling massive rocks down at you. You know, it'd be like this crazy game. But we thought, is this not vulnerable to just surrounding it?
Well, that's the general idea. This is what I see. This is what I have to deal with. That is the general idea behind a castle, Tristan.
I'm saying
you surround it and you wait for like 2 years until they starve, or someone lets you in.
Okay.
I feel like a rope down the side is going to be a bigger threat. Unfortunately for Viper, no one's throwing him a rope in this series.
Nice one. I still feel like you're a little harsh.
I'm trying to get back to Age of Empires.
But nice
here.
one. That's fair.
Yeah, away from the castle.
Okay, got it. Well, we're in the castle. You're not getting away from the castle.
Where do we go now?
I have no clue. But production has our backs.
Yeah.
And we've got a little bit more about how strong Hera is in this event.
This event, my biggest rival in this event will probably be Hera. It has to be Hera. Well, you know, we faced in a lot of finals already. People know he has a good streak going with S-tier events.
So Hera probably is my hardest opponent right now. I think he's on a sharp. It's really hard to beat him. I think he's the standout the last year in the scene as a whole. So he's going to be the favorite entering the event, and he's going to be the one to beat.
Wow, what a view. Well, folks, thanks again for your patience as we wait for game number 3. Just trying to make sure everything runs smoothly, you know? We didn't like the pauses in the midst of games there.
No.
And we want to make sure it's fair for the competitors too, so we'll be there closely. Now, obviously, tons of fans filling the seats, hyped to watch these games and everything, but throughout the day, people, as Dave waves from the camera, I don't know if you could see him there.
They can see the shine
Probably
off
easier
my head.
to see your head than your hands
I knew
waving.
you were gonna say it. I got there first. I got there first.
But I just want to say it's been such a treat to be able to meet so many people out there. So cool to be here and be invited, be a part of this. And it's just amazing, man. I mean, this community in person is just as amazing as it is online. So thank you, everyone who makes this community what it is, man. It truly is amazing. The players deserve it, and I think the games deserved it for so long. But really only the last like 5 or so years, I'd say the game's been getting the attention that you and I have felt it deserved for so many years before
for a
that
very
day.
long time. Yeah.
So cool. Did you have any like unique experiences today with the fans? Don't want to call anybody out. Anyone make a joke?
They're always just trying to give me stuff. Like, hey, Dave, do you want a beer? No, I'm supposed to be working. You sure you don't want a beer? I'll get you a mojito. That'll be fine.
It was a Red Bull mojito, though.
Hey, Dave, you want chocolate? Sure, I'll take some chocolate. You want some more chocolate? No, I think I'm all chocolate out. Thank you. You want a beer? No, I'm good,
okay.
bro.
I'm really starting to feel bad about myself now because you got offered a lot more things than I did. I did get chocolate. I haven't tried it yet. I told myself that would be my reward after the cast if it was good enough. But yeah, it's been cool. Everyone's been nice. People have understood as well that we've got somewhere to be, you know, and have been kind with our time and whatnot. But it has been an amazing event, so special, and just the energy around it, the happiness is just it comes right to us as well. As we, again, just wait for game number 3. Now, I got a fun stat for you, Dave. I talked about it before the series.
Okay.
This is an interesting time for it. Scores 2-0 for Hera, right?
Yeah.
So, all-time live stats for these two throughout their careers.
Yes.
Viper, 116 wins.
Yeah.
Hera, 116 wins.
So it's even now.
It's even all time.
Stevens.
That's crazy. Now, sets, Viper's still got 4 more sets above Hera. Hera obviously can't fix that today. But 116 to 116, that's nuts.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And a best of 7 to decide who with what's remaining is the best all time between the two.
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to view it really, but
do you think Hera's looking at this set as in, if I win against Viper here and I take this championship, the last recurring series championship basically that is left to me to take, do you think then he becomes part of the argument for the greatest of all time? Is that in his mind right now?
I think Hera might think he's the most complete player of all time right now. Now, as for the achievements, obviously that's a big thing. Then it's like the whole conversation of the eras, all and all those things.
Jordan versus LeBron. Yep.
Yeah, but I really think at least Hera seems to play like he's got no doubt in himself. He's got all the belief in the world. So,
what do you like best? Archery slits, Merlins, or hill defense? It feels like Merlins and archery slits are incorporated in the hill defense. Oh, select your own adventure.
Whoa.
Okay, well, hill defense is the winner, and we have a feature on hill defense.
One of the most critical aspects of a castle's defensibility actually comes into play before the castle is even built. There's a reason that in Age of Empires you are handsomely rewarded for building a castle on top of a hill. It's because this is where you wanted castles to be built in real life, for many reasons. Of course, one of which is the fact that you get a commanding view of the area around. But when your castle came under attack, there was another reason you wanted to be on top of the hill, and that is, well, actually, you know what? Let me show you. Almost there. Oh man, almost there. So, the reason, right, you wanted to build your castle on top of a hill is because when the attacking army finally gets to the top, oh man, actually, you know what? I give up. It's too much. I give up. We're done. Cut. Just cut. Whatever. I can't do it.
Well, I think you proved the point. Yeah.
Credit to Riley for that one. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Speaking of Riley, I think he's rested up. I think we got him down there with heart for his opinion on the set. Riley, take it away.
Hey, thanks very much again, boys. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew with trying to get up that hill in the way that I did. But hey, That's why we build castles on top of hills. It tires out the defenders by the time they get up here to fight. They're out of breath just like I was. Anyway, I'm joined by Hart, one of our semi-finalists. Let's hear it for Hart, coming all the way over from South America, of course. Now, Hart, just in broad strokes, how has your weekend been? This is your first Wololo event. That's right, your second land.
Second land, yes.
Second land, first Wololo event. Huge result for you, making it all the way through to the semi-finals. Heading into this event, what were your expectations of yourself, and did you meet them?
I was hoping for top 4. I got top 4, and honestly, I got the best experience of my life with this crowd.
Wow, how about that?
I must say, I never expected this much support here. I'm blown out of my mind. You guys are amazing, honestly.
It's something that I was also blown away by a few years ago when I started to make inroads into the Age of Empires 2 community. Unlike a lot of gaming communities that can tend to sort of, you know, pull up the ladder behind them, a bit gatekeepy, the Age of Empires community is just like, no, come on in. With open arms, please come and play our 20-year-old RTS. We would love to have you. And it is fantastic to be here, I'll tell you that.
It's awesome.
Oh, sorry, go on.
It's awesome, and honestly, arriba España, arriba Sudamérica, y aguante el H2.
I'll tell you what. I think I could learn something from you players about how to play the crowd because, oh boy, you're very, very good at it. Hart, I want to get your impression on the match that we've seen so far. 2-0 to Hera at the moment. Viper's got to get on the board. You've played against Hera a lot over the weekend. Doesn't matter who won or lost. That's not.
Doesn't matter at all.
At the end of the day, Hart, the real winner is Age of Empires, right? Yeah, that's it. No, look, what was your experience like going up against Hera? We know he's such a dominant player. How can you possibly prepare yourself to go up against someone like Hera?
I feel like I've met the most dominant Hera ever, honestly. He's in top shape, but so is Viper, honestly. Viper's doing really well. I think these 2 games, even though it's 2-0, the games have been really close. I'm seeing a really high-level Viper. I'm really hyped for this set because I think it's going to be very close in the end, even if it's 2-0 right now. I expect both of them to take games to the maximum.
Yes. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see Viper dig down and get onto the scoreboard. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Hart, before we let you go, is that incredible second day you had. 3-0, 3-0, the clean sweep against 2 opponents. Hart played his guts out that day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
What was going on for you that day with those 3-0s? The 3-0 against ACCM, against the Bastion. Could you just see the matrix? What happened to make you play so well?
I couldn't believe it, honestly. Like, every time I won the game, I could hear the crowd chanting, and to me, it was crazy. Like, just being on stage itself was amazing, but to hear people cheering for me actively was just, like, I had never experienced something like that. And I can tell, like, the guys on stage are also experiencing that. When they make a good play and people are cheering, you can hear it through the headset. And it's honestly an amazing feeling, and I'm hoping to keep listening to that and seeing how they perform.
Well, I know the crowd here is going to make a lot of noise for these players once we get things back up and going. Once again, let's put your hands together for Hart here, one of our semi-finalists, doing very, very well this weekend. Congratulations, Hart. Thanks for joining us. Back to T90, back to Dave, up in the casting area.
All right, folks, so we are back. We are getting closer.
We're building anticipation.
Yes, we are building
anticipation.
One block at a time. You can see the back of our heads right now. I'm sure you're very excited, and now you can see the front, which is only slightly better.
Yeah,
but
worse.
In your case or mine? Okay,
yes.
no. I mean,
mine looks the same.
I guess that's true. Yeah, sure. Well, great to see Hart up there. I love to see the happiness and energy there, right? Like, I felt like both Leary and Hart were like really enjoying the crowd here, and they got a lot of love from it. I think Viper and Hera may be no stranger to the hype, no stranger to the love, but I could speak from experience. You can too. It never really gets old, you know, to hear praise of some kind.
And
right?
I know a lot of players love that. One of the players that loves the hype is Jordan, and we actually have Zoe and Jordan to get their perspective on what it means to have the crowd in front of that stage and what a big moment it is for both of these players.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Jordan, it's so clear that for all the players who've been here over the last couple of days, the crowd really was like the missing piece of the puzzle. Like playing in front of a hyped crowd, an excited crowd, that makes all the difference.
Yeah, 100%. We are not really too used to having LAN events in the past. Of course, the last 2 years it was a little bit different. So I would say compared to other games, it's still something special, so to say. And being on the stage in front of so many people is just so good, because there's so much energy coming from the crowd and you just feel it as a player and you're just super excited. So it's just amazing, a great experience to have as a player. And back in the days, that's something we as the Age of Empires 2 players dreamt of to have.
And now we're here in a castle with a crowd for the best and most important game of the year here at Red Bull Wololo El Reinado. Now, of course, if you're on a LAN event, there's always something that can go wrong. You can have tech issues and whatnot. Pauses will be had. That's just something else that you have to factor in when you're heading to that stage. How does that affect the player? Like heading into the pause, having to like get out of the game, get your head out of the game, back into the game. Do you think either of those two players will be affected by this?
I think it will have a positive effect on the Viper, because a lot of things are about momentum, independent where you look. Like if you're looking at sports, if you're looking into esports, it's all about momentum. And Hera, he was building up the momentum, right? He won the first 2 games, and that he had all the energy with him, so to say. And now with this break, it's kind of like a cut through, and Viper is able to, sit back and just try to reset. Don't think about the 2 games, think about the fact that he has to win 5 more games. That has to be the mindset. And I hope it's going to be positive for him there.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Even yesterday when we watched him during the game with Leary, he's down 0-2, and instead of like locking in, he just like starts staring at the crowd, like playing around with them. Like he's feeding off of that energy. He's feeding off of chaos, it seems as well.
Yes, he's just, there's a reason why he's the GOAT, so to say. And he has had so much experience already in those kind of situations. So he's no stranger to that, and his professionalism shows. And I think he will be able to bounce back very nicely.
So you as a player, or a former player rather, sorry.
Thank you.
Just quick reminder.
Thank you.
Do you use that time sometimes to just, I don't know, like rehash your strategy, maybe rethink some decisions? Like, can you actually gain an advantage as a player, or do you feel like that's actually dangerous if you start pivoting at this moment?
I think it's good. Like, I was a player who really liked to have a little bit more time for myself and just think about the strategies, especially if 2 games, the first 2 games, I would have lost them, which didn't happen too often. That's something where I was like, okay, it's very, very good, because then I can step back and just think about all the decisions I have made after the draft, before the first game, and now I can maybe tweak a few things, depending on how my opponent has played the first 2 games.
Okay, so definitely opportunities to use a break, however short or long it might be, to your advantage. For now, we're going to send it back over to our casters and hope to get this one on the road again.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still delayed here getting into the next game, just ensuring that we're not going to have any pauses in the coverage, but I have been assured that it will be live shortly. Of course, this is a best of 9. It's going to take a long time anyway. I think, okay, so if you had a Bard, because we're back on this again.
We're back on this, yeah.
What do you think that guy's name is? Is it Bob the Bard? Is it Bert the Bard? Ooh. Is it like Bartholomew the Bard?
Short, Bart for short.
It has to start. It has to start with a B.
Wow. Well, yet again, I've been surprised by the Bard comment. I wasn't expecting this, but we are pretty much back at that point. We're out of other ideas, I suppose. I don't know, man. Does the name influence how much you appreciate your Bard?
What if it's like a Bartholomew?
That wasn't that good. I don't like that. But just saying, like, maybe you can't appreciate a Bard if his name is like Tim. You know, it's not a very Bard name. Sorry, any Tims out there?
No, sorry, Tims.
I would like to point out. I think this is important.
Yes.
I'd like to point out that production mentioned that they could come back to us and we could send it to another interview with another player, and we said, actually, no, we've got something better, and we've been discussing Bards.
Honestly,
that was our idea.
I didn't fully think it through.
We're like, we could just chat it out.
It's great to have Jordan back, though.
Yeah. No,
It's
seriously,
great,
he's done amazing.
It's great to have Jordan back. Not only on the production, he's done an amazing job as our resident analyst, but just in person, because we missed him for the last few months since Neely's Apartment Cup, and of course he's been outside of the scene. I know he's got a lot of fans there. One unique thing about Jordan, which you know, you might not get through the screen, but you probably do, is that he's a real listener and he's a real carer, and he will ask you the most deep and impactful emotional questions ever. And you will be answering the question, you'll be really thinking about it, looking the other direction, and when you look back 2 minutes later, when you finally have an answer, he's still looking at you.
Staring at you intently, yes.
He's like, what are they going to say?
I've never felt more important in my life
never
when
felt more
speaking to
loved.
Jordan. Yeah, seriously,
Yeah,
he
it's
really
crazy.
cares, and I don't have many good responses to come up with either, and he seems interested. So
Such an amazing person to have in our community, as with most of the other players and casters as well. It's incredible to see all of them and all of the fans here. We can't mention them enough. The production staff as well is growing on me a little bit. Less and less with every delay, but
yes,
they're working
but it's
hard.
not necessarily on the production staff.
And
Unfortunately, it is technology, I've been told, which we thankfully have people here to investigate. But now it's been a great show. It's been a great show. And every time we do this, now occasionally we work with the same people, but other times you get new people. So you kind of you form those relationships at the start. They understand how weird we are and how we operate, and then everyone understands each other more as we
bringing us back.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, really.
Honestly,
actually, settle down here. Let's not give them any, eye-opening moments here.
I don't want to endanger my life.
Yeah, seriously, don't do that. I was a little worried for us there. Yeah, it's amazing. I wish I think a lot of people made some videos on this to show the ins and outs, but I don't think anyone truly knows what actually goes into it.
Yeah.
There's probably 100 computer screens on site, all attached to various PCs
and
that have various
every computer
jobs.
screen has a person attached to it.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
also there's one winding little path up towards the castle. So you have to transport everything to the bottom, and then it's one truck or one van or one car at a time all the way up to the castle. Then you have to carry it, as we saw Riley take that same path, all the way up here. All this technical equipment, the heavy stuff, everything. It's an incredible production here and super ambitious, and I'm just happy that we managed to make it and we managed to get to our finals here.
Yeah, I do have one complaint. It is not on production or anyone. It is on whoever built this castle so many years ago. Apparently no one ever had to take a pee in a hurry.
Yes.
Because we've got to start here and go all the way around and then go down a bunch of stairs and
through the dungeon.
Through the dungeon, past the torture chamber,
Did they just throw it off? This isn't what we should be talking.
No, we shouldn't. We should move on.
You can see the winding path though. With the little
it's
lights.
amazing. It's absolutely terrifying. I get super anxious when we drive up that hill.
At 2 in the morning?
That is way steeper. Imagine 2005 Arabia.
Yeah.
The hill in front of your base where your main gold is. Okay, that is what that hill is like. It's brutal, and if you sit on the on the side of the road and then Dave's next to you saying, "Hey, we might fall," you're not gonna have a good time.
Tristan's losing his mind, anxious, and I'm like, "Hey, man, look how close we are to the edge."
We'd be done. We'd be gone, man. It's fine though. It's fine. We've made it. Everything's been fine. The drivers have been more than trusting. So
Mem and I were talking about it. If we do go off the edge, what are we gonna say? And
I'm glad you're not the only one who had a thought about that, because I was told I was a morbid
he
person.
was gonna sing.
He was gonna sing?
Yeah, la la la. la, la, la.
Oh, okay.
I would just be like, GG.
GG. Okay, I got you.
It's over.
Well, that is a live look at the castle. We are somewhere in that. Yep.
Somewhere.
And it's all lit up. And it's amazing, and we are close. So they're doing testing right now.
Oh, that's a different angle, dude. They are really stretching for angles here.
There we go.
We are going through the catacombs. The players' room is on the right.
Yep. Production was on the left.
And there's a little picture there of all the former Red Bull champions. The picture of the players. We're going in. The Red Bull fridges, of course. Crazzini's little admin abode is the one in the center, where he checks all the resources and everything. We've got the player banners if you want to know where they've been practicing. Half-eaten pizza, a hat, Marine Lord now showing off
his trophy.
And that is a very impressive trophy.
It is.
He could almost fit in that actually. I'm not making jokes at Marine Lord's expense.
Yeah, and just one of like, well, not hundreds, maybe dozens of different rooms in this castle.
Look at that. Tato, Viper, and then Marine Lord behind.
It's beautiful drawing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful drawing.
And a cat. And a bat.
A cat and a bat.
There was a bat behind Viper.
They possibly referencing the bat from last time?
Yes, 100%.
Now,
and there's the bat too. There's a bat at the top.
I think I can say this and not get fired. They must have switched painters halfway through that one. If you know, you know. Some of the faces were a little bit more accurate than others.
Hey, man.
But I can't do anything. Everyone is going to act natural as the camera goes through into the courtyard here.
Get out of the way.
Everyone's in their seats right now for the most part.
This is like the virtual tour of the castle. Welcome. You can really feel as if you're here. Welcome to the castle. We've got a chess game going on.
He tried to get out of the way.
He tried to get it out of the way. We're interrupting the chess game. Yo, what's up, dude?
Having a good time. Yeah. This is where we had some archery earlier, and I almost killed Riley.
I sent the arrow flying in the wrong direction. Yeah, I did. I should have put the arrow through the hole in the middle where the arrow is supposed to go.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll figure it out someday. But it's been cool to see that. Now that is the same cameraman. He is currently using a very tall ladder.
Consistently finding new angles for the last 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It's impressive. We do have different places to show. This is kind of the other side.
That's a tree?
And we have
You really were working on figuring out what number that was.
No, I was
can
not.
tell, dude.
No,
I know how your brain works. That's a 14, brother. You were really working on that.
Listen. I think we should move on. And there's one of our many banners here. It's been an amazing show. There's food, there's beverages, all sorts of options around for people so they don't go hungry or thirsty. And I know. We are all very hungry for Age of Empires. He said yeah.
He's got it through the middle. He's got it through the middle.
Whoa. Careful where you're pointing that rubber arrow.
Oh, there's a kid? And it didn't. It's stuck. Man. He just whipped so hard. Give the man another chance,
Give him redemption,
please.
please.
Give him a redemption
Come
shot.
on, we need redemption.
Come on.
What is it? I think
he says, I love you too. No, T90. Can't be right. It must be 2.
I thought it said it was me? Was it me?
Why did your voice go up like that? Bartenders, wonderful. We're making our way to the bar. I'll have one of those, please.
Oh, look, a Red Bull sign. Nice. Cameraman's having a good time.
Good.
I think if we could get word back to cameraman, I want to see redemption shot.
I mean,
from the archer.
At this rate, he's going to walk all the way down to the town.
All right.
That's the band.
The band from earlier.
Hey,
nice.
That's the band. Do you do weddings? I didn't even notice this one. We didn't even.
Whoa, is this new?
Yeah.
We got to take a photo there.
We didn't even take a picture.
You wouldn't be able to do the middle ones because I don't think you have the height, but you actually wouldn't look very bald.
Oh, it's getting dark. Shh. It's getting dark now, guys. It's getting dark. Visitors, hug the wall. He's leaving.
He's leaving the castle.
He's now leaving
the
castle.
Hold on. No. He's going the back way.
This guy didn't let me through the other day. He just let him through.
He's got a camera, dude. Those are the rules.
I was in costume. And now we've got some fans, and we're back up into the courtyard here, following Mr. Crew in front. Wow, we're
going to be right back up to the stage. This is the perfect little tour of kind of the setup we have here for our fans. And
I love the camera work. Thank you.
Here we are. We're back to our live audience. Who's ready to go? Who's ready to go? Hello, everybody. We are going to be in the next game shortly, and everyone's still awake as ever, ready to see the games. What a crowd, dude. What a crowd. Love to see it, Dave. Well, Hera Viper, potentially 7 more games. So this could be a long night. And
could be.
We've got plenty of castle to explore from the top here. I'm a little... Okay.
We've repaired the problem.
Okay, we've been told that the problem is repaired.
Sorry, I was very excited.
And Dave got excited.
And the crowd should be too, and you should be excited at home as well.
All right.
That was a virtual tour for the ages, though.
It was.
We really took you through there.
So I guess camera guy gets to avoid walking all along the upper walls, which would be quite dangerous.
He might be up there the next time.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Let's hope there's no next time.
Because like we were running out of ideas there, so he probably would have been headed up there. So game number 3, we're hearing it's going to be coming underway here. It will be Viper's choice of map. We speculated on possibly picking a map on Hera's side. You make it 2-1. You eliminate a Hera home map. You still got just as many home maps remaining.
Yeah,
that's an option. Viper did do really well in game number 2. Like, he didn't make many mistakes. It felt like it was the type of game that he had control over, and then Hera's champion surprised him. So maybe he wants to ease into the late game. If he does that, Mountain Dunes would be good, Shrubland would be good, and then the Passage is just a water map, which also tends to go quite late. That could be a good option as well. But I'm just thinking, like, you need 5 wins now. You have to single out 2 maps on Hera's side that you can beat him on, that you feel you're comfortable with, and maybe you just kind of attack that right now.
I mean, Karst can also go late as well if you get your walls up. But you got to get your walls up. Same with Isthmus as well. Isthmus?
This is going to be
to look a lot like Isthmus.
It's going to be Shrubland here. So
never mind.
Hera has Franks, and when MBL played the other day, Tato went Franks, and MBL went Incas. Now, Hera banned Incas, so that's not an option for the Viper, but it was a nice little counter pick to the Franks. It showed that the Franks do have weaknesses against Halb.
Leary also went Portuguese on this map, and I believe Viper has Portuguese.
He does like his Portuguese. And Portuguese, I don't really know if it's as beneficial as the Frank berry bonus, but they do have a berry bonus
I think
with
it's
wood
better.
income.
It's better, is it
Think
not?
so? I just don't know how helpful extra wood is in the race to stay Castle Age, right?
Yeah, but
in
once
theory,
you're
you
in
could spend
Castle
it.
Age,
yeah,
it's better than the. I mean, Franks are good because they get the farm bonus in synergy with the berries. You're bringing in the food faster, and you can set up your other food to eco faster. But in Castle Age, setting up TCs on those berries and getting wood supply is incredible.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, though. Viper has a civilization which is extremely awkward in the mid game, really good in the late game.
Oh, look at that.
And, well, I'm going to not complete my thought because Viper goes for the Portuguese like Leary did the other day. So Viper goes for one of his early picks. We'll see what Hera does. There is that throwing axeman, and it is going to be Portuguese versus Franks. These are 2 top-tier civs. I would say Franks probably a little bit easier to play and certainly suiting Hera's ability to boom. And, again, the 2 civs with the berry bonuses, it does just kind of make sense with so many berries on the map.
Oh, get ready for a big cheer here. Get ready for a big cheer here, folks, watching live and watching at home. It's been a long delay, but game number 3.
Let's go.
Shrubland. Hera playing as the Franks, Viper playing as the Portuguese, and the game goes on. Maybe a little bit of trolling mixed in there.
Well, Viper's going to open archery range here. I'm a little surprised by this. I do think it's great for the Portuguese to do so with cheaper gold units, but it does take a long time to get over to the enemy map or the enemy side on this map. Hera, more expected, of course, with his Civ. He's going to drop a stable down and go for scouts. But let's see if Hera can spot the fact that Viper's going archers, because if Viper can sneak that somehow, which is unlikely, I'd say, then maybe there can be a payoff for Viper. But it's going to take a while for Viper to get across the map.
I'd like to see Viper put down some just pre-walls before Hera gets there.
Yeah.
You know, getting a little bit greedy, relying on your quick walls is kind of something that Viper is known for. But, I mean, it's easy. You just put down a few palisades, and then you don't lose those early villagers, right? And you're comfortable. And then you can start really making your way into the Castle Age and expanding onto those berries with the Portuguese.
It is worth noting that you can't wall all of it because there's that stone walk, like that pathway there, so you can't wall that. But you should be able to wall most of things and should be able to keep things protected. Yeah. But, I mean, like, this is interesting now, right? Hera, the last thing he wants to do is drop an archer range. It just feels so natural to stay on stable and get into knights instead of having to add skirms. But it's going to ask a question of him. Now, he has an idea this is coming, And he's going to, in the meantime, try and pick off some Viper villagers here. But this is the issue. Viper has to have a spear with his archers on that journey.
Yeah.
So he can't actually, I mean, he's going to have to make more spearmen.
He's got another one
to defend
coming
himself.
out. He's got a spear on each side. So he sent 2 archers forward on one side. He sent 1 archer forward on the other. He's got a spear accompanying both. And Hera decides no damage to be done. So Viper pushes forward from both angles. And he's just trying to keep... Oh.
It's all right. Deep breaths, folks. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. So the issue we were having was with the game and the program. And before it was, I believe my understanding is it was just kind of dropping for us. So if that's happening, that's a good sign that we're not out of this one here. The players are still moving along. So I think that's okay. We should be good. Could even be, something we kind of work out of our system here. So Viper's archers get over. This was kind of my worry with archers, though. You get there. Hera has 2 skirms. He had all the time in the world to prepare for it. And it just doesn't seem like the archers are going to do too much for Viper.
I mean, the archers might force Hera to bring some of his forces back in defense, and it forced him into the archer range, right? So it's a little bit more investment than Hera might have wanted. Viper is the first one to the castle age, and Hera's going to follow up with that as Viper trying to save this villager, and he does. Hera needs to run away. Hera's going to look for some more value there as he chases the archer and the spearman away with his skirmishers. He clicks up to castle age, but he's about 30 seconds behind Viper.
Okay, so decision time right now for Hera. You probably are going to need to rely on skirms, but what is Viper going to do from here? Viper just showing Hera was so much on gold, or I guess it would be more correct to say that Hera scouted it.
Get him.
Is a big deal because Hera seeing the double mining camp on gold and the amount on gold will tell him this will be crossbow commitment. Viper's going to add scouts as well, so you could go knights, you could go archers, but still only 3 archers, so I'm looking at Viper's setup. It's like not producing archers anymore.
I think he wants cav archers, just like Leary. I think he wants cav archers, and that was the entire plan. You get yourself to the castle age, you go for the cav archers, and then you can expand your eco at the same time because you're getting wood for your cav archers by foraging the berries. Now, Hera knows that cav archers is a play because Leary was doing it before, and they probably had a discussion about that, or he watched that game. So he's probably adding skirmishers to go elite skirm to counter the cav archer play from the Viper.
I think Viper is just going to flex this into a boom, hoping Hera is expecting the CA.
I mean, 700 gold, though?
Yeah, like this to me feels like Viper's going to drop TCs and defend. And Hera saw a lot on gold and is assuming, oh man, he's going to go like 2-3 ranges. He's going to come with so much army. Okay. But Viper's going to drop a monastery. He's going to drop TC2. He's going to drop TC3. And then he just has a couple scouts on the map just to kind of take a look on what's going on here.
800 gold in the bank for Viper, though.
No market.
What are we doing with this gold is the question. I mean, he's got the monastery, of course. He sees the skirmishers, Hera expecting the cav archer play, and Hera seeing that second TC, which, wouldn't be weird if Viper was going cav archers. He hasn't identified any extra ranges because Viper hasn't added them just yet.
This is actually really sick for Viper, right? Like, if Viper went for army here, if he went for knights, or if he went for CA or crossbow, Hera's ready and prepared for that. But Viper can make 2 units, buying 2 villager kills, and now he's faster to the town centers. And I just think Hera's like the natural opening with 13 on gold is army, and Viper's like, nope, I'm saving that gold for later, bro.
Saving it for what, though? It's not the most efficient thing to just keep resources rotting away in the bank, and you can see how much wood he's got. You see how much gold he's got. What is the plan there for Viper? I love the fact that he's already got a TC on the berries. That's nice, and he's getting double resource collection. And you can see already, resources collected. Viper has the lead.
Yep.
I think for the first time in this series, Hera's generally been ahead on that stat.
Yeah, we had that delay. I'm forgetting a little bit, but I think certainly game number 2, Hera was ahead. And now this becomes a relic contest. And Hera's got 10 skirms that he's going to have to move out across the field. And kind of similar to what we said as Viper gets the conversion.
Where did that one come from?
Similar to what we had said before about moving out across the map with range units. I do think it becomes very difficult for Hera to find the value. But Hera gets the snipe on the monk and gets his revenge.
Nice snipe there from Hera as he sends the knights in from the other side. Elite skirms also following another knight behind as Viper tries to bring in this relic. Maybe he can get another big conversion.
Hera didn't see it. Viper keeps moving. That's going to be relic number 1 for the Viper.
And he'll see the army coming in, so he can get that relic home in time. He does not have any gold left in the bank. Did he spend it on Texas?
Oh, he gets another conversion.
Huge conversions here from Viper.
Did you see Hera's reaction there? He kind of nodded like, oh, okay, game. Okay, game. You're going to do that? Yeah, you're going to do that? So some kind of fast conversions there for Viper. And Hera's going to move in. Now, Viper is just
gonna block.
A moment removed.
Another conversion?
Hold on.
A man of faith?
He gets the conversion! What in the world? I was going to say Viper, and he killed the monk.
At home.
He killed the knight as well. Holy value from the Viper. Dave, this is huge. He's heavily on stone, so he can work his way into a castle. Hera's army advanced across the map with crazy upgrades, right? He got Elite Skirm. He got Bodkin Arrow. And it's all just going to be slaughtered by his own knights.
The upgrades have been in vain because he read a play from Viper that Viper wasn't going for. He just had the gold in the bank. I'm still wondering what happened to that gold. I guess it was just monks and upgrades and knights and maybe a little bit of market usage there as Hera buys wood and stone of his own, maybe thinking about an additional town center somewhere? A 5th town center? No.
I loved that look from Hera off that one conversion.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God.
We are really like, we're really breaking this down a little too much here, but I love that. Oh, okay. You know, he's going to have to find his way out of this one. So Franks have the stronger cavalry, as Viper's going to work his way towards that. But Franks don't have a lot else to work with beyond just, I'd say, infantry. Portuguese have great archers. They have great gunpowder.
Fantastic tech tree.
Yeah, they've got cav as well.
And everything's cheaper.
And he gets another conversion. Hera with a smile on his face now. It's just
like, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work this way, but Hera's probably thinking, so I'm just going to get all my bad luck out of the way.
Yeah.
in game number 3.
Yep.
And this is exactly what Viper needs. He needs these small moments to add up. He gets another villager snipe. Hera doesn't have a whole lot here. Viper was distracting the town center fire with the light cav. And he just seems to be in the zone right now. Hera is housed. There's going to be a whole lot of red units hovering around Hera's base.
Right monk snipe right Hera there.
And Viper's going to be on 4 TCs behind this, Dave.
Yeah, Hera is trying to expand his eco. I mean, he's been on 4 TCs for longer. Viper's still ahead on res collected, but Hera's still ahead on villagers here. So production has been really nice from him. Only 51 seconds of idle TC time from Hera as Viper tries for another conversion. That one's 100%, a little bit longer there, but the monk will still die. Viper can't do anything about that. But still, Hera is losing all of his units and giving them over to his enemy as he's trying to counterattack.
It might end up looking really weird here, what Hera's going to go for. But I think he's just going to continue with Cav, and because it's his best option with his Civ. I think if he tries to make transitions into like pikemen here or something, it's just so easy for the Portuguese player to add the organ guns and go gunpowder. So this might on paper look kind of odd, but I think Hera's about to say, you know what, as the monk is moonwalking, I am going to just go for the knights, go for the cabin imp, and hope it's strong enough to get the job done.
Yeah, the monk's
overchop.
On the wood line. Knights are in again. Hera losing more. It's amazing he's only lost 5 villagers. Excellent damage control so far from Hera. He's going to lose a few more here, and this is just annoyance. As Viper comes in trying to snipe the monk, he doesn't get it. Hera with a good garrison. Does he get this monk? He does.
That should be a conversion for Hera. He hops inside the TC. He'll get the relic in the monastery, but it is just all Viper right now. Still advancing forward with monks. Still has the relics. Has so much control, and he's going to add in organ guns as well. What an annoying position here for Hera as he's going to try and kill the monks with the scout, but now the scout gets converted, and the knights are finding picks, and this is just continuous damage in Hera's economy.
Now Viper is not letting go, and it's low numbers of units. Look at the military, like 7-3, 6-3 throughout this whole process. Hera's been losing a lot. He's lost a lot of monks, and he hasn't gotten the conversions, and every time he's up against a Viper monk, he's being converted himself. Another castle coming down from Viper as this scout chases after. This guy is not going to survive this one. Viper won't be able to convert that scout, so there's a win for Hera as he loops around with these 2 knights. Viper heading forward with the villagers. That's a lot of vills.
That's a lot of vills, and there should be enough organ guns to protect here. I could definitely see some villagers going down, but Viper wants to take the northern area with the castle.
And he's up to him. So
he's
is Hera.
Clicked up to the Imperial Age. There goes Hera as well. Let's see how this goes with the organs, because they're not all grouped up together. Viper's going to repair.
Nice repairs coming in. The organs are kind of weak against the knights in single digits. as the Knights try and clear them up, but it should be enough for Viper. Let's see if Hera sends anything else forward.
That's
He's
so
repairing
funny.
with 4 villagers.
That's so funny. Hera should know there's going to be a castle coming here, dude. That is just crazy value from Viper. And Viper quick walls the Vill! Saves the villager there against the light cap. Viper is feeling it here in game number 3.
Oh, he's got a castle at home defensively. Another one going forward. He's still on stone, but Viper now having to deal with some raids at the back. He notices right away, pulls the villagers away. Hera getting the first villager kill of the game. Eco KD is now 10-1 in favor of Viper. Res collected is 3,000 ahead, but Hera is not out of this game just yet. 115 villagers with 19 in the queue.
So the way that Hera wins this, the way he should approach this, is he needs to make Viper's lack of mobility with the organ guns an issue. And so the South, there's some alarm bells there for Viper because he's exposed.
He needs a castle down there.
Yeah, but if you do that, you can't push Hera, right? So there's it's an either-or situation. I think what Viper's going to try and do is just castle towards Hera's base and then use the light cap to protect in the South. But if Hera goes Knights in the South, that's going to be the issue.
I think Viper's patient enough. He doesn't need the castle to push in the north. He'd rather go for the castle in the south and work towards something in the north there. He'd rather make sure that Hera can't raid, doesn't have that other option. He's pushing forward with the organs. We're about to see, it looks like the villagers might be coming forward from Viper. Maybe I was wrong. It kind of looks like they're moving forward here for another castle. He almost has the stone. He's got plenty of resources in the bank as the Knights push forward to take out the organ guns.
I don't know. Like, the organs need to be masked, right? Viper's producing mainly light cap. He's going to attempt to convert a Knight there, which he won't get. The organ guns are getting killed off, and Knights are way better than light cap. So Viper, as he gets some raids in here, is going to build a defensive castle. Well, not really defensive castle in the north, but a more passive castle.
Hera going now for Cavalier upgrade. Handcart coming in. Viper putting all his production buildings in the north, and he's walling in the south. But remember, there's a stone strip around this map.
Did he find an area?
Did he find a stone?
Oh, no.
within
You
the
can run over
stone?
that.
Okay.
I think you can run over that.
Well, what if you can't?
I'm actually not certain, but that could
stone
be
within the stone.
crazy.
That would be wild.
Yeah. I mean, there's supposed to be a one-tile gap, but those stones do generate, and I just don't know. I think you can run over it, Dave. I think Hera might look at it and
we
think
need
it's called.
confirmation.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Viper would have checked, but that would be horrible for Hera if those walls actually go down. And I've been told that, by production at least, that those do block the tile.
And they're situated
and
every so often.
They
so
happen
maybe
every
at
once in a while.
strategic positions, you can find a wall like that. That's a crazy call out there from Viper. Means that he's really practiced this map and took a good hard look at it. That is amazing. Lightcap still raiding at the back of Hera's base as Hera loses some more villagers, but Hera's pushing forward.
His units won't path there. He's clicked beyond it.
Oh my
and they're not pathing.
God.
And he must be really confused right now because of the knowledge of, the fact that it's very difficult to wall.
This is why Viper didn't castle there. This is why everything is in the north. He knows.
And, I was about to criticize Viper for building the barracks in the north and having no defense at home. But if the defense is there in the form of that wall, Hera's going to have to face the music here and deal with these halbs right away.
And here come the organs, here come the halbs, here come the trebs. Hera is going to have to focus on this. He was hoping for a distraction. He's got a big army of his own. Paladin now on the way in, 2 minutes and 40 seconds away. Will he have enough time as Viper is getting all of his technologies?
Halbs do a ton of bonus damage here, but in even numbers, the Paladins will win the fight. That's what Hera needs to rely on. There is a world where he could mix in hand cannons and throwing axemen, but that takes time that he does not have right now, Dave.
Yeah, Viper just sitting up on that hill. You'd love to see more siege from him if possible. Hera, he knows how to play with Paladin. If you're looking at an army like this from Viper, you have to wait another minute and 40 seconds until the Paladin armor comes in, or the upgrade comes in, and you have to have enough. You have to have like 40.
Yeah. And I'm worried for Hera because he's not going to have long-term gold control here. So he will need something else, but for now he just needs
Fortified
to
wall
stop.
from Viper.
Yeah, and he's doing that because Hera had clicked the wall with the castle as well. He wants to make it that much more difficult for him to break through.
Can you get
he added
fortified
another
rock
layer
as well?
I don't think there's fortified rock, but I'm kind of new at this. And Hera's still waiting that minute He has to fight this, Dave, but that is going to be 50 halbs from the Viper. It's going to be such an expensive fight for Hera to take here.
Yeah, one Treb only rolling forward, and Viper is protecting that with everything. He has to keep the halbs near the organs near the Treb, and he needs to force a fight where Hera loses a very expensive army, and Viper needs to make sure he's got the production queued behind. That's the important thing, because he will lose this army at some point, but it's easier to replace than Hera's Paladin.
And if you're going to lose your army, you want to lose it a couple more steps deep into the opponent's eco.
So deep in here.
you want to lose it here instead of where you were moments ago, and you want to lose it after killing Bills as well. I mean, here goes Hera.
Is Hera just going to the north? He's ignoring this army. He's looking for that castle Viper is placing,
He's got a wallet.
Will need the quick walls.
He's got a wallet. I don't think Viper realizes it's not walls.
It's open.
Hera is going to deny this castle.
What a play from Hera, but he is losing the middle of his eco.
Yeah.
Is this enough? I mean, Viper only has one Treb there, fair, but Hera is going to lose a lot of buildings over there still. He's got 143 villages.
Viper's got castles, and he's got halb production here. He should be fine in the end, but Hera says, screw your counter units. I have Paladin, the strongest Paladins in the game with Franks, and he's just spamming them nonstop. He's got 60 of these things.
Yeah, 46 on gold, so right now he can afford them. Viper, a miscalculation there, not walling in that castle. The Paladin coming back across. Hand cannons from Viper, trying to get to the front lines. However, the Paladin are moving towards Viper's base. Hera on stand ground patrol there with his Paladin, and it worked out for him. He's going to clear up the Dread now.
Dave, let's talk about the barracks for Viper. Can we look back at his base? If Paladins get in there,
I
don't think he has any, right?
He's got one. He's got his starting
all
barracks.
in the north.
Yeah.
It's all in the north. If Hera gets past castles, it's a big problem. And that's enough Paladins to really do damage. That's enough Paladins to do damage.
And
Hera's about to break through this wall. What is happening? What is happening? Hera, every other time he's probably played the map, has never been walled out. It happens, and he has the guts to just go straight Paladin against
But look at the army. Viper still has 60 military. He's just in the wrong place to deal with the raids. If Viper can clear up these raids here, if he can stop Hera from getting in, he's still doing damage to Hera's economy. He's been killing Hera's economy this whole time. It's opening up pop space for Hera's military, sure, but Hera is going to run out of steam at some point. You can see him losing population as the Halbs take the fight against the Paladin, and the solo villager, Bob the Villager, building the castle up on the hill.
It's still Frank Paladins. It's still Frank Paladins. They're still going to kill a lot here. I'd be very curious to see Viper's Vil count. He hasn't been able to get many barracks up at home, and there his units go down. You need the wood income, you need the food income, and you need to be able to produce as well if you're Viper.
Still 54 military. Still 54 military. Is the castle up yet? Is the castle up yet? The castle is up
It's
now.
up. It's up. That's big. That's big. So Hera is going to hit a point where he's going to run out of gold. You see that tile there is left. He maybe has a little bit more to work with, but I don't think there's anything more.
He's shifting everything to the bottom now. Is he
And
about to get in? Viper still holding.
Oh my God.
Viper still holding. He's got the bombard cannon now.
But Hera, I guess, do you need to treb the piece of wall next to the... You avoid the rock? Or you wall?
You treb the tree.
True!
Cut the tree, my guy.
Cut the tree! Yeah, I mean, that might be the best play for him.
Oh.
He is
He's
actually...
in the trees.
There's been a hole there the whole time?
Sure.
Oh my goodness!
Why not?
Hera goes in with his Paladins. He's still on a
stand ground
patrol.
He's figured something out
which is a new thing, right? And it seems to be. Well, it's not a new thing. It's like 15 years old.
This is like some kind of CBA tactic right here, and he's actually ripping through the halberdiers.
Yeah.
So Paladin versus halberdier. I mean, you can stack them up, and they can take them out, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Hera's only winning because he can make the most expensive unit possible.
Yep.
And Viper is all about the cost efficiency
is coming out from Hera.
He needs that. He needs to be through. He needs to ask some questions of Viper here. Viper just playing Legend of Wall here behind this wall, but if he gets attacked by Paladins, he doesn't have a single castle in the heart of his eco.
We need to start shooting trees here, Tristan.
I agree. I agree with you. I think it's very likely you hit it, and Viper doesn't realize because Viper's trying to push in the north.
He killed the villager, though. Hera sniped the villager with the trebs. Now he's going after the walls. If those Paladin get in, Viper will have a problem. Fortunately, more villagers behind. Hera trying to take that gold. He really needs this gold. He's got 62 Paladin on the field. However, 57 halberdier from Viper. What an army from Hera as he tries desperately to get through these walls.
He's almost through. Viper's going to add some more walls. And it still is just a difficult situation for Hera long term. He's going to go in and attack these Halbs again.
Stand ground patrol once more.
And he's doing his stand ground patrol. It changes how the units engage. It allows them to stack on top of each other. It makes it difficult for the opponent's units to engage, Dave.
Yes.
This is something that I recently heard about. I believe it is something that may not be possible next patch. And Hera is using it in the biggest moment here, as he should. And it's just allowing him to chew up the
He's
house.
off gold. He's off gold, though. Every Paladin now that he loses is a massive deal. That is the only gold he has. It's forward. He's got villagers with gold in their arms, but nothing in front of them as the Paladin push forward to the north and take out another trebuchet. That castle is still up, though. Viper still spamming Halberdier and making more hand cannons and still holding the line in the south. Hera has been unable to break these walls.
He's also doing a great job at still trying here. I think if you give up at any point, it's just game over.
Yes.
But this fight might not be worth it for him, Dave.
Nope.
He's losing Paladin numbers.
Yep.
The Castle Fire is helping Viper so much. Viper has more Halbs in queue. Can Viper get back on track here? Can Viper get this victory?
Hera's just trying so hard to get through here, but it's not going to matter in a second. I mean, 86 gold? That's one Paladin. He's only got 34 on the field. He's making skirms now.
Yeah, I think Viper needs to take that monastery down.
Yes.
If he has any siege around, and I think he just needs to continue to do more of the same.
Panic!
Oh man, dude!
What a moment!
I really feel for Hera right now. This is so annoying from Viper, but it's changed the entire game, dude.
Yeah.
It's changed the entire game.
This is incredible.
Knew. We didn't even know. He knew about it. He's taking advantage of it. Guys, what's going on?
Just passing.
They're looking over
He's
here.
in. Never mind.
Well, he is through. He is through. He is through. But
And
now
he
he's
wants
not.
it again. Have you ever seen anything like this? Viper with the wall.
Oh my goodness.
Hera loses to walls.
Oh my goodness. What was that game, dude? Viper holds on. He made over 300 Halbs, and he is back, just like he was in the semifinals. And Hera tastes defeat for the first time in a long time here.
Wow. We always see something unique. You know, every single game of Age of Empires has the potential to be unique, and that's why we love this game for so long. I've never seen a wall into a rock, into Trebs attacking it for 25 minutes, and he's unable to get in. Unfortunate for Hera there. Viper played that to perfection, though. Map knowledge coming in clutch.
That map is not new for this tournament. We saw it in qualifiers. We saw it in ranked.
Do that.
I've never seen anyone do that. Yeah, I've never seen it. And it changed the game. It absolutely did. I think Hera's approach was correct, by the way. I think once Viper walled and fortified the north, he had to go with his best unit, and that gave him his best chance.
Speaking of walls, there's John Slow right there.
Oh, yeah, John Slow in the crowd.
He's like, I've been doing that forever.
We are going to have a short break here after that game as we reset.
What a game.
Now, what a game. Honestly, if you're Hera right now, I don't think that does anything to your mental.
Yeah.
Because he will think, okay, come on, right? Had that not happened, I would have gone through.
Yeah,
now,
it's a ridiculous series of events.
Exactly. So I don't think you really look at it and get too frustrated with yourself.
Also, the conversions were horrible for him.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was just a lot of things that kind of went wrong that were somewhat out of his control. Now, Viper's going to take the win. He's not going to complain about a victory. But let's just pretend for a moment. You're going to need to do a lot of pretending. Okay? Pretend you're as good as Hera. Again, a lot of pretending. And
no, give me a second. I'm getting in the headspace.
Okay.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay. You win the first two games. You get some solid cheers, right?
Yeah.
You have all these delays, all that stuff. Viper wins that game, and the crowd erupts at its obnoxious level you maybe haven't experienced yet today. Does that put a little bit of a chip on your shoulder to be like, oh, okay, guys. All right, I'll show you. Or do you just not think about it at all?
Well, I'm 2K9, and probably the average elo of the crowd is like 1K, so do I really... Sorry, I'm in the Hera headspace. Does it bother me that much?
I think it would put... it would put a little bit of a chip on your shoulder in that position.
It might.
And I think it should.
Yeah.
I think it should. It'd be like, okay, maybe maybe I've got to quiet them down a little bit more, right? Not to say that they haven't been cheering, but I think Hera said, like, he definitely felt like he wasn't the favorite coming into this series. He said that. And so, yeah, I would hope that he looks at that and says, okay, he beat me with the wall.
Yeah.
He beat me with the wall.
Well,
Let's come back, game 4.
I think good things to take away there if you're Hera. It was very messy. You managed to have the eco lead over Viper for a very long time. You got into Paladin, and then you definitely outplayed him when it came to positioning with that army pushing him from Viper, right? You denied the castle. You ignored the push because there was only one Treb there. What's one Treb and a couple of Halbs going to do? Not too much to your eco. The Organ Guns weren't elite. They weren't a big problem. He ignored it. He went forward with the Paladin, and he made Viper sweat, and he made Viper really work for it. So I think good moments there from Hera, good recognition, good game sense in that game from Hera. He just couldn't pull it off because of a rock and a few conversions and Trebs that couldn't get through walls.
Yeah, and Viper had a lot. He earned himself a lot of control to build up to that point.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, it wasn't just the rock, but yeah. Now, small thing about the units there, I believe that might have been a combination of no attack stance to get the units to stack and path a different way, and stand ground. I'll be curious to see after this event concludes, you know, if there's any experimentation on how that worked. But I saw something recently about how that could possibly change things.
That's the behavior that they had back in the original game when you use a patch, and even before that. Yeah, if you stand ground patrol like that, you can stack up, and basically what it does is it gets like 5 Paladin on the same tile and attacking at the same time, and 5 Paladin attacking a Halberdier will insta-kill it. So the Halberdier doesn't even get time to poke. So
and then the other units are all bumping into each other.
Exactly. So that's nice to see from Hera pulling something like that out, because it's not something that's extremely popular at the moment. Maybe he's been saving it, but Viper's been saving the rock. So, like, hey, this is the grand final. This is where you pull out those things and show the world what you have up your sleeve.
Yeah, and there's not really, that's definitely a you can't beat him, join him situation as well in terms of the, so we'll see if Viper gives it a shot and says, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That is possible. So, big positive for Hera to take here. Not just the fact he's up 1 game, but he has every single home map, all right? This is an uphill battle for Viper still. Hera has all of the maps he was comfortable with, all the maps he would have wanted to play. Viper's gonna need to make a decision now. 2 home maps, and I believe Viper can hear us at the moment because he has his headphones off.
I think Hera might be able to hear us as well,
It's
whether
possible.
whether he wants to or not.
Hera, blink twice if you can hear us.
No, don't talk to him.
Okay. 4 home maps available for Hera, 2 for Viper. I'm going to say the same thing I said before, especially now that you bounce back. Got to go to Hera's side here. You got to have your home maps available for that game 8. That might happen. That game 9, that might happen. You don't want to play all the games in Hera's court, in my opinion.
I mean, it kind of feels like Hera is of the opinion that every map in this pool is one of his home maps.
Sure.
To be honest. And Viper might be in the same boat. I mean, they have so much confidence in each other.
Yeah.
It's crazy. These 2 teammates up here getting ready for the next game. Viper had to take a short bathroom break, but he's back, of course, considering the civs. Crowd's been here for a very long time.
Let's go. Thank you, guys.
Norwegian flag right there, and we're going on to Mountain Dunes.
Dude, it's so cool to see all the people here from all these different countries. We had a Norwegian here with the horn yesterday. I don't know. I haven't heard the horn today. Maybe he misplaced it, but that was cool after every Viper victory.
There's the horn.
There's the horn. All right. I don't know.
Heard it in the background.
I don't know if the people at home could hear it, but shout out the horn guy. All right. Well, Mountain Dunes is one of Viper's 2 remaining home maps. So he's going to stay with his home maps, and this will be another relatively slow build-up compared to what we will eventually get to.
Yes.
But I guess Viper wants to even this out, add even more confidence and momentum for himself here, and take it from there. And you can't blame the guy. And
horn
guy is still going. Production, can the fans hear the horn? I'm guessing they can't.
It's a very low, rumbly horn.
It is intimidating, though.
It gives a certain ambiance.
Oh, they can apparently hear it.
Yeah,
okay.
He sounded exasperated.
I guess Twitch viewers can give that horn a ranking out of 10.
Okay, so
where was the horn when we had that large delay earlier? We needed something else.
We needed horn guy.
We needed horn guy.
You can stop blowing it, man. We get it. All right.
Viper back to his seat here. I saw, I believe, admin there. Maybe we had a bit of an issue. but we'll have the next game coming up. Man, it's been a really nice series. Let's not forget, Game 2 felt like Viper was going to win that.
Yeah.
Right? So this feels like a 2-1. It could have been 2-1 either way. The momentum is with Hera because he is the 2 and not the 1. And we are going to carry on here. Apparently Viper had a bit of a noise issue with his headphone. That's been fixed. Can we make out the notes there from Hera?
It says... Nope.
Yeah, couldn't quite figure that one out. But seeing lots of detail there. And it is not something that players are usually doing.
Ooh,
Typically,
Berbers.
they're putting all that
Berbers
on the computer.
Mountain Dunes. Berbers on Mountain Dunes. Let's see what Viper goes with.
I think
Viper goes with the
Hindustanis. Ooh, dude, this is a great matchup. This is a great matchup for Viper. We saw. Do you remember Acropolis games of Berber Hindustanis at all? Does that ring a bell?
Camels for days.
Camels for days. Okay, so camels for days. We don't know what type of camel it's going to necessarily be.
Or what type of day.
Or what type of day it's going to be. But I really like this matchup for Viper. I'll explain why once we're in. Mountain Dudes will have a relatively fast start potential just because of Empire Wars, but I expect walls to be the focus. And every other time Hera and Viper have played this map, they've just looked super comfortable.
It could also be just a pure Camel Archer play for the Berber player. I mean, you're up on your mountainous dune.
Yeah.
You can wall pretty quickly. It looks like Hera is into the game. Lightning fast fingers as always. And the stone is right next to the TC. So you can open with scouts to get your walls down. And then you can go into the Camel Archers. A very, very strong unit. And then Viper is going to have to play like camels against you, skirmishers potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe just even boom up as we see game number 4 here. Hera playing as the Berbers. Viper playing as the Hindustanis. Hera is sending in 1 scout at a time. He's unable to find any damage just yet.
Don't do that against Viper.
And he's like, I agree. I'm out.
Oh my God.
I'm out, man.
Oh, and Viper had that palisade wall prepped so fast, dude. That was so funny. So back to my point here, as we have scout opening, this is obviously a really important thing to focus on. Hera needs to get some damage in because I think because neither civilization gets Howl, there's not a strong counter to Camel, which then means why not make Camel?
Yeah.
Eventually, Berbers have the cheaper camels, but Hindustanis have the faster attacking camels, and then they get Imperial camels. So in the Camel War, I'm all about the Hindustanis long term, but I think what you said is what Hera ultimately wants. There is stone underneath the TC.
Yeah.
It's not Hera's style, but I think Camel Archer.
It's not his style to just go for that castle right away.
Yeah.
That feels like something he's going to want to work into. Maybe some Camel's Light Cap or something in the middle before he goes there. Because the Camel Archers do take time to build up. And the last thing you want to do is let the Hindustanis just kind of boom while you're trying to go for a castle and build up Camel Archers of your own.
So
They're not on stone yet.
We're talking very small details, right? Yes. But Viper did, showing some signs at the moment. Queued up to like 10 Vills in queue, didn't have the food for a Spearman and a Scout or 2 here or there. That's why he's behind in numbers. He canceled some of the extras.
Also getting
but
bloodlines.
He is playing very defensive here, probably due to the matchup. And Hera already using the market is, again, a sign that I think he feels like he has to win fast.
Yeah.
And he wants to rush to Castle Age here.
Viper, classic. He goes for the walls there, then deletes them. He doesn't want to waste resources as he saw the scouts were leaving. Hera has a lot of resources in the bank. Viper getting forging as well. Like, he's really focusing on these scouts, but he only has 5.
Yep. Hera's just really good at this. He's really good at this. He shows you army, and then he just falls back and tries to beat you in castle. Now, if there's a hole, this would be horrible.
There's no hole.
Oh!
He's out.
Viper stays. He has bloodlines.
And forging.
But he's at the bottom of the hill, so the fight hasn't been great.
Now he's
here
at the top of the hill.
This could be horrible for Hera. Viper needs to use patience here.
Oh, man. I can't believe there was a hole there. Hera can't believe there was a hole there. 2 scouts, though, on stand ground, and the TC firing as well. Even with the upgrades, Viper couldn't take advantage of that. Hera's going to defend, but these are some tense moments here for Hera as he goes for the house wall there.
That's huge.
Traps in the army.
That's huge.
Great clear up from Hera.
Hera says all calculated. All calculated. Because Hera invested far less into upgrades. And while it was panicky, Hera didn't lose anything, and he'll still be Castle Age faster.
Jeez.
Viper scouts can't be utilized now. And while it will be up, Hera will be in Castle Age much faster here.
thank you for showing us that villager dealt 2 damage and got 1 kill. What a man.
Oh, man. So, I think there's going to be some question marks for Viper. I really do. He doesn't have scouts anymore. So, he may be concerned that it's going to be camel archers on the other side. Hera is just going to greed it up and go for TCs. But let's remind the people where the stone is here, Mapu. Most of the stone, obviously you have those 2 tiles underneath the TC, but most of the stone is there. So usually you're seeing a player with map control, so Hera in this case, taking the risk to go out there and TC that stone.
I'm not certain if that's a hole or not. I think there might be a tree behind that. Hera is going to find it if it is. He'll go in and investigate, but Hera just keeps making his way around the base from Viper. He gets to the Castle Age. Viper about 1.5 minutes behind. This is going to be pretty rough. Viper is ahead on total res collected already, and Hindustanis do have a good boom. They do have a good late game. But Hera making the decision to go to Castle Age, and then Viper just losing all of his scouts after the upgrades. I mean, that's not a good start for him. Really, really nice job from Hera to control those scouts. As there's a hole right there. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Viper finds it. Nice work there. I mean, in all honesty, it was a really difficult situation there for Viper too, right? Because you want to take advantage of that hole. You're already through, and you had the upgrades, but there wasn't a lot of space to maneuver.
There's another one there, Viper. He saves the villager.
Oh, man, this is... But, I mean, Hera is laughing right now. He's attacking the walls. He's feeling under control. He's on the second town center.
And I think he's moving out to the left stone. There's something going out there, so he's going to make another TC out there while has Castle Age advantage over Viper. Those are very weak vills to send for a forward TC.
Yeah, and Viper's going to lose more scouts, loses lots of HP. Viper really struggling with the control here, but he's going to be on camels, and he will have the cheap Hindustani villagers. But considering the matchup, I like the position for Hera. I think that he's going to have a nice little lead. I wasn't expecting it for him to have, and he can actually delay going into the camel archers as well.
Camel now out from Viper. He lost the villager there, and he's chasing after the light cav, but of course the camels aren't quite as quick as Hera is leading him back towards that TC, which will be up in time.
I have seen this matchup so many times, and it's just never good for Berbers. And if it's good for Berbers, it's when they have Camel Archer massing at this point, and it's lower economy.
Yeah.
Hera's such an economic player, and this is an economic map, so this does make sense for him. But no Halb. I don't think Pikemen do enough bonus damage to justify it, and Hindustanis should be able to catch up in the boom. Viper's only a couple villagers behind.
Viper trying to
be fine for him.
Oh, he deletes that lumber camp. I thought he was trying to sneak another TC in there.
Dave.
He's on stone.
Think about what Viper knows right now. If we could see Viper's vision, it's very little, right? He lost his scouts. He thinks Hera's on camel archers soon. That's why he's on stone, because he wants to consider Golem to counter that, because it's anti-archer. So really important that Viper kind of gets a feel for what's happening here. He needs to realize even the amount on the stone. If you see 2 on stone instead of 8, you know that Hera's going to play more camel.
I will say I love the scouting from Viper that he's doing right now.
I agree.
It's insane. Like that match with MBL where he didn't see the extra golds and everything and he wasn't really exploring. He got punished for that.
Yeah.
Viper is just exploring the entire map, but he's explored everything but that TC.
Yeah, so Viper is still thinking, where's the camel archers?
Go back!
He's thinking, where's the camel archers? They must be here. He may even assume that there's no TC on the side. And Hera with a 10 villager lead now. Viper just still on 2 TCs. He's expecting a low economic approach from Hera, and Hera is just booming away.
Still can't see the town center on the outside edge. Viper circled the stone. He did his due diligence. He just unfortunately didn't go to the place that he needed to go. As the camel now takes the engagement against the light cav. That one's pretty weak. He's going to try and kill this one, but Hera snipes that camel down. And the light cav are just running amok in the center of the map as Hera has 3 TCs producing villagers. Viper only with 2, and now he goes out for his own TC on the stone, but it's 4 or 5 minutes later than Hera's.
Yeah, and Hera knows that Viper is, will know that Viper goes over there. He obviously knows that Viper isn't on the left. So a really good job from Viper, or Hera rather, to understand the map, see Viper. Could potentially deny that too. He could have some army headed over there.
It's there.
And Viper just doesn't know. He does not know. And this is a big one. This is Viper's home map. Viper's home map. He has to take this one.
So
or it's going to look tough.
Does Viper go double TC here and then castle on this side? And then he's assuming that Hera doesn't have anything over on the other side.
I think it would be a little foolish to just assume Hera's not on the left side right now.
It pretty thoroughly. It's just one little area.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you send units over there and you do a full circle, you probably then just assume incorrectly, yes. But he's patrol. Okay, he definitely doesn't know. That is a patrol to catch any vills that go that direction.
Yep.
So he definitely doesn't know.
Oh, man. What an unfortunate series of events for Viper. Very fortunate there for Hera, though. And Hera, I think, maybe even surprised Viper just by how quick he went out there. So credit to Hera getting the castle age so quick and sending those villagers right away.
Okay, so Hera hasn't produced any camels. It's just been like
Here he goes.
He's going to drop...
Surely he sees them now.
He's going to drop a castle.
Surely he sees it now. Surely he sees
He sees a bunch of vills in there, by the way.
It's too late.
Hera's going to drop the castle on the hill. I really love Hera's position. This is such a good position because he's got his stone protected. Here he's going to be able to trade monk kills, but Camel Archer's production is actually going to come from the proper spot. If he wants to pressure Viper off of the stone and protect his main eco, he's got the castle there on the middle hill. The left side is completely fine for Hera. He doesn't need to protect that.
At least Viper's got an idea that it's no longer Camel Archers, like instantly.
Well, yeah,
it might be soon, but he didn't have any urgency behind getting to that castle and making ghoulems.
That would have been disastrous.
Disaster.
Also, I'm not even convinced ghoulems are that good
against camel
archers either.
No.
At least long term. So, but Hera's boom has been insane. 92 villagers over 80. He will click up to imp here shortly, and if he can get enough camel archers to push the map and then get a forward castle down on Viper Stone, big problems for Viper. The good news for Viper is the camels
He's going for a castle
strong.
on the left side. He's going for a castle on the left side. Does he see that second town center on the left side? We know he sees the first. Does he have vision on the second? He doesn't. He could place a really, really nice castle in between both of those.
It's kind of difficult to do so. Hera sees the villagers with the outpost. He knows it's all about this stone. He's going to drop his own castle behind this and click up to imp. So Hera's going to hope for Trebs there, but I don't think he can stop Viper's castle from going up, and he will be under some pressure.
No, there's just too many camels there from Viper. Viper doesn't have any upgrades on the camels, but he's about to click up to Imperial Age soon. Unfortunately for Viper, doesn't have that second building, so he has to wait for the castle to go up.
Wait for the castle, and when Hera's already ahead of you, this is a bit painful here for the Viper. Now, he won't know that Hera's already up, but this is looking good for Hera with everything except army. If he needs Trebs from that castle on the left, he can't produce camel archers, and his other castle's kind of far away. So I think like just pure heavy camel spam from Viper can snipe Trebs and can push back camel archers. He definitely has a chance here.
You were talking about the Civ matchup, right? You said every time you see this Civ matchup, it gets ugly for the Berbers.
Yeah. It's so rough. And you can't suggest anything to Hera. Pikeman is just a bad choice. Your own camel is maybe a decent choice, but it's just a worse camel, you know? You're fighting with inferior units unless Camel Archer is out there and upgraded, and Hera only has 7 right now, but
I like the
7 he has.
I like the fact he already got Casbah.
Yeah, I agree.
Very, very nice. And that'll help with the Trebs as well and the Camel Archer production as the conversion tries to come in, but Hera snipes down that Monk. Hera in the back here, and Viper was trying to stonewall that off. Unfortunate for Viper,
sick.
That was a great play from him, or a great attempt from him, but Hera cutting that off right away.
I'm worried for Viper he doesn't have armor in on his camels yet, and even then, it's kind of tough to justify diving underneath castles, right? So he's going to need most likely heavy camel and the final armor upgrade to then go for Trebs. And Viper trying to break in. Hera sees it. Drops a
hole on
house.
the bottom side. If he gets through there's a hole on the bottom side there. If he gets through that palisade, never mind. Hera walls it off. Nice shot from Hera.
Yeah, Viper's going to really commit here. Oh, he's not expecting this. He's not expecting this. Hera goes to the perfect spot. Viper's expecting the Camel Archers anywhere else, and the Camel Archers cannot be stopped. Hera in imp, clicking heavy camel and Camel Archer upgrades and he's going to start with trebuchets on the left-hand side.
Beautiful job from Hera.
Yeah.
Light Cav is annoying back there, but Camel Archers are extra annoying on this side. And Viper's going to have to pull the Camels back to deal with this. +2 armor is coming in for him. Camel production still solid.
Oh, man.
But Hera is getting heavy Camel already. However, if he loses these Camel Archers, it's going to take him a while to build them back up again.
Yeah, and it's going to take him a long time to defend his trebuchets, right? So Hera's going to opt for his own Camels, which are cheaper, but lack upgrades to protect the trebs on the left. Viper's got 2 castles. Honestly, it feels like it all comes down to the castles on the left.
Look at how much stone Hera has.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
If he's having Camel Archer production problems, you just drop three more castles.
Yep, agreed. Really curious how this goes right now. Viper will have heavy Camel in a minute. Viper's Camels have 3 or 4 more blacksmith upgrades. Hera will have the combo, though, of Camel Archer. Not elite, but just Camel Archer with heavy Camel. It'll force Viper back. It just comes down to the left, right? Like, if Viper can take Hera off that stone, he denies Camel Archers long term, and he kills countless villagers. It's all about the left side right now.
Hera also ahead by 30+ villagers right now. Hera's economy is insane. He's got handcart, he's got Berber villagers, looking really, really solid. He's trying to mass up the heavy Camel and Camel Archer combo, which can be so devastating as Viper is just trebbing down TCs. I mean, Hera forced to delete that one because it was going to go down anyway. The castle still stands for Viper on this side, and he's got a castle behind it as the final armor upgrade comes in on the Camels, and I think he's saving for Imperial Camel right now.
Oh, man.
There it is.
Okay, this is going to be crazy. So you've got, like, the discount dollar store army versus the really expensive, really sturdy army, but you can only get so much here if you're Viper.
It's a designer army.
A designer army, sorry.
Yes.
It's going to take 2 minutes to get to that army, and in the meanwhile, Hera can have all the time to max out what he didn't have. He didn't have blacksmith upgrades for his Camels. He's getting those. He could maybe get, like, elite Camel Archer as well. This, to me, looks like it's really good for Hera. He's at 200 pop. He's going to push Viper off of this stone. Viper will take the fight with heavy Camel.
That's a pretty good fight for Viper right there.
Doesn't have a ton of eco.
He didn't lose all that many Camels, and he's only 57 seconds away. He just needs to buy some more time. Hera's trying to find an angle on those trebs. He's got the Camel Archers behind. Viper is trying to treb down the trebuchets from Hera. He's unable to hold this castle potentially. Hera stand ground patrol once again. The castle is being held, but not for very much longer as it does fall, and Hera manages to clear a bunch of those Camels, but Viper still has production coming forward.
Just wait, 10 seconds, this gets crazy. This is no joke situation. Viper's got resources. He just needs to, he needs to avoid the snowball. He's losing a lot of his units before the upgrade here, Viper. He's gonna lose his trebs. Where's his army? He's on him, Camel Dave. He's only got like 10 of them.
And he calls the GG. Hera taking game number 4, excellently played all up the back of that castle age that was like 2 minutes faster than Viper. He snuck out there. Viper didn't see the TC, and then of course the castle push. It was so close there. If Viper had another minute, maybe he could have held.
I think it all goes back to the scouts in Feudal Age and the additional investment. If Viper loses those scouts, but, you know, doesn't get bloodlines, doesn't get forging, the castle age times are similar and the boom's probably similar. I think also then, because of how good the matchup maybe is for the Hindustanis, Viper had in his head, Hera has to go Camel Archer. And Hera just said, nope. Like, that was crazy. He just went full greed, added the TCs, and Viper had some catching up to do. So this is kind of the issue here for Viper. Again, now he's got 1 home map remaining. Hera still has all his home maps, and Hera just, like, out-greeded Viper, who can sometimes be very greedy himself, in a poor Civ matchup, in my opinion. So all the odds with Hera to win his first ever Red Bull here tonight.
Yes, indeed. That was great play from Hera there. Also doing all the little things, right? Constantly looking for openings into Viper's base, distracting him, pulling the Camels back. I think the key there, though, is that Viper read the game wrong. He didn't see the TC on the left side. Hera went out there so early, way earlier than Viper thought he would ever be out there. He was even patrolling for the villagers coming out to make the TC on the stone, and then he realized too late that it was there.
I'm really surprised Viper was so late to the 3rd town center. Like, that is a map where that's kind of the play. Hera showed light cav. I mean, there might have been confusion over Camel Archer, but it just really felt like Viper could have been on the 3 town centers as well, alongside Hera there. But this is the thing about Hera. He doesn't have those games very frequently where he's below par, if you would have considered that to be the case there for Viper.
Yeah.
And I imagine he's got all the confidence in the world that he's going to win the title here tonight. He's got 2 more wins to go for with 4 more home maps available. There's room for mistakes, and he has not made many of them here. As again, we see the amazing drone footage from above the castle. This is just so freaking sick, man. This is so sick. Thank you to the very strong breeze as well, making it look even more incredible from above. I hope, viewers, you are not taking this for granted. Red Bull, World's Edge, everyone who's played their role, thank you so much for this. This has been so amazing.
It's been incredible. It's like a dream.
It is.
And you don't want it to end. So can we please go to 9 games here, gentlemen?
Viper,
thank you very much.
He's just going to get his home maps out of the way to start like the Cinderella story, the crazy comeback that he's going to need now.
The massage.
It's a best of 9. And so if it's a best of 9, Viper could still lose this and then come back, but he would need to win 4 straight.
4 straight, and he's going for Bengalis indeed. Remember that Hera has the Vikings available. Golden Stream has already been played. He didn't play them there. And there's the Berserker icon. Let's see what Viper can do with the Bengalis against the Vikings. His teammate Tato did it against Leary earlier in the tournament. He managed to come back with the Bengalis and do a good job there, but I mean, it's tough.
Well, remember, like one of Hera's best friends is Leary, right? And earlier in the day, it was just Hera Leary sitting there scheming up ways to beat the Viper today, things to try and do. And so this is a matchup that the Hera's going to have a lot of intel on, same with Viper. And you and I both felt that Leary maybe should have won that game with the Vikings. So I think there's actually a very clear example as we enter game number 5 here. Thank you, folks. I think there's a very clear example on maybe what could have gone a bit differently. But we're going to have just some spearmen and scouts out in the middle of the map on a map that has a lot of water, but there is this little somewhat useless, sparse island in the middle. I would not suggest building any archery ranges there, but that does allow some like control, I guess, but it's not really gonna factor in here a ton, I would say.
I think the meta play on this has become open stable. You go for the scouts, you try and pick away, you try and prevent your opponent from walling, you look for opportunities, and then maybe even go forward with an archery range like Viper is doing right now. And then you focus on the water, right? And your focus on the water initially is just to snipe your opponent's fish, and then later on, it's going to be about the control. But look at how far apart those docks are. It's going to take a very long time to snipe the fish, as Viper is going for a sneaky dock on Hera's side and sending the villager deep into enemy territory.
This is really interesting here. So I feel as though Vikings are the best civ on this map, provided it just turns into a water opening in Castle. And that's what is going to be the play here for Hera eventually. The scouts pass in. Viper does see it, though, and has spearmen around, so you'd expect he's probably okay.
Yeah, I think he got a hit on each of those. So low HP or low-ish HP for those scouts as Hera. He won't be bothered by that. He's still going to look for villager kills. The fire ship working away as Hera's walled 2 sides of his base, but Viper, unbeknownst to Hera, already has an archer range over on his side. However, Hera's thinking definitely about Castle H here. Viper might be thinking about a
Hera wants that Vil. Hera wants that Vil. Hera wants a weak Vil in there.
He's not that
really
weak.
Wants it.
He's not that weak.
And Viper is not allowed it. Nice shot from Viper here. I mean, the 2 scouts getting in is annoying.
Yes.
But it's kind of nice, too, because Hera doesn't have any more scouts, so guess what he's not going to ever look for? He's never going to find, he's never going to auto-scout or do a loop around and find that there's a sneak archery range right next to his base.
Yeah, and Hera's devoting all of his attention towards not losing these scouts as Viper quick walls in the weak villager. Hera looking for another one. He's prowling.
Hera's having fun right now. He's having fun.
He loves
Wouldn't it be fun to be this good? I think so.
Fire galleys from Viper, by the way. I think they found the second dock from Hera along the shoreline, and now they're harassing the fish and the galleys. So Hera is heading out with the galleys, going to attempt to snipe the fish from Viper. One good thing about Bengalis is if you engage with the fire galleys early, you pull away the wounded ones, they will heal up over time.
Yeah, it's very slow.
Use them again.
Now, Viper is going to be on 2 docks, which Hera also won't know about because of his lack of scouting intel. So what you could do if you're Viper is you could just hide your fish or even split them up, right? If you have 5 fishing ships, put 3 on one dock and 2 on another.
Can you ever think about, I know this is kind of out of left field, or rather right field on Hera's base, but if Viper builds up archers here, can you think about some sort of like sneaky siege tower play or something like that?
Oh, I love where your brain's at. But I think every time I've seen Vikings struggle, it's just 2 mangonels, right? You're going to break through the wall right away. You then have that mangonel to be able to do some real damage against the TCs. So
can you hit the scout, please?
It did take damage. Look at Viper. He's sending his weak scout away from the archers.
Yes.
He's not taking Hera over there. Hera has no reason to expect a second dock, at least where it is, rather. And Hera has no reason to expect the archers from Viper. And
so
look,
Viper has 5 fishing ships. He's adding in some more fire galleys, but Hera's about to be into the castle age, and then he will be able to afford longboats. Look at his resources right now, Tristan.
Yep.
600 food in the bank, 400 gold, 300 wood, and he's adding that second town center over near those exposed walls as he finds another random villager from Viper. Viper with the quick walls. Not today, my friend.
Yeah, so that is most likely a sneak dock to kill some fishing ships.
Yes.
That's going to be a nice find there for Hera, and Hera should win water now.
Hera's also found the sneak dock on his side, but he killed the villagers, so once you get one sneak vill, you never expect the second.
You've been telling me that for years, bro. I mean, it's been an interesting
one step at a time,
here.
One wall at a time. You'll make it to the shoreline any day now.
Oh, no.
Or you just wall in the scout.
Viper, quick wall.
No, Spearman, no!
Nice snipe from Hera. That's lovely, because Hera already had an idea this was coming. It might not have been the biggest problem ever, but that makes his life a little bit easier. 3 TC boom for Hera. He's got maybe the best water civ in the game. He's up 3-1, and Viper has crossbows.
But they're heading towards the town center.
But they haven't done anything yet, and it's expensive to get to all this. And he's losing water, and he may be losing hope, and he needs those crossbows to do something. Can they do anything?
They're attacking the wood line, I believe, as the fires are going in, and Hera knows about the crossbows.
I think he spotted it. Yeah, I think Hera saw it because the villagers on wood were relocated there.
Yep. Unfortunately for Viper, the TC was there, and now he has to go through the house instead of the palisade as Viper now goes over to this other wood line. I believe that's fully walled, though. No overchops on this side. Viper's still looking for opportunities. Hera adding 2 more stables
with the Vikings. Well, he can protect. Viper can't be going where he's going now. Viper's crossbows will just be killed off by the longboats. So Viper's got to be careful, but...
He's sending 2 more vills. Viper is sending 2 more villagers. He's going across. Fires just trying to hold the Navy at bay from Hera. Viper still with a few fishing ships. Will he see the vills? Will it be in time? Has he done the math?
Did Viper lose the other vill? I thought he had one over there yet.
Yeah, he must have lost it somewhere. He must have lost it. So he sends in 2 more vills. He goes for the monastery, maybe the siege workshop, couple more town centers. If he can keep Hera distracted on land, he can boom up his eco behind.
Agreed.
But the knights are going to be a problem.
Yep, big problem. Hera is he's just on fire right now. Like, he seems like he's one step ahead. Maybe it's a little bit of Viper, being disappointed with the situation. I don't know. But, like, Hera doing all the small things. He sniped the dock villager knowing he's going to take the fishing ships. He's not seeing this. But knights, dude? Knights with Vikings?
I mean, if you have the fish and the farms...
Yeah.
Even if you don't have bloodlines, Knights could be a solid option that Viper wouldn't expect. I think Viper is going to have to be very reactive with the walls at home and very careful with this army forward, because Hera is going to be planning on getting that second armor upgrade and then just wiping through the crossbows. However, Hera going into Knights here, if Viper builds up monks, he might be able to defend those crossbows, and this is going to take food away and gold away from going up to Imp for Hera.
Yep.
So it's buying Viper some time. He's got double monastery against Viking Knights. Like, he could defend against that potentially as the demo comes in, takes out 1 longboat, and the crossbows potentially in at the south, but I think Hera has chased that away for the time being.
Yeah, crossbows are going to move away for Viper back to the monasteries. Now, think about what you just said, right? The importance of this next step for Viper's push. Him losing those vills was critical for Hera.
Knights from Hera, I believe, looking at the minimap, Knights from Hera, I believe, are going to the south of his base. They're going to ambush the crossbows, but the monks are there.
Monks are there.
Double monk for Viper.
Hera!
As he gets both of the Knights from Hera. Hera not even killing a single crossbow, and that guy is on stand ground. He's going to change sides as well.
Hera didn't expect there to be the next step.
Horn guy is blowing his horn.
He killed the Vils, Dave. He killed the Vils. He knew it was only an archer range. He never expected Viper to be back with monks. He certainly is not going to expect the siege. And now he's teched into Knights with one of the worst things the Vikings could go for. And he's going to have to really find some answers at his base.
Hera. 0 on gold for Hera right now.
Does he have gold?
He's making a TC in the south.
Is there any gold?
Yeah, there's a gold in the south where he's making the new TC.
Okay, that's good. That he needs some gold right now. Even with gold, he could have some problems. Viper still could be raided by some Knights. I'm seeing some Vils walking across.
I guess that's the waypoint for Viper being set accidentally. These two Vils are going back for some reason. Viper doesn't know where his Vils are, but it doesn't matter because he knows where his army is, and it's in the middle of Hera's economy. As the Knights are killing the villagers now from Viper, he should be able to deal with that. Villagers walking
Shift change. That is Viper, funnily enough, with a waypoint issue, and then also sending his idle villagers back to work at home. So
weird.
It's been a crazy day. And Viper trying to push. Viper losing his monks to the town center. He loses 3 monks. 3 monks, and Hera maintains such a nice eco lead still. And his light cav are going to kill the monks, not the siege. But he's in a position to hold this, Dave. And then, again, he's still got all that control on the water.
And the res collected, too. Like, Vikings are Vikings, right? We've got Wheelbarrow in for free. You got Handcart in for free. I'm sure Bengalis get the extra villagers, but Hera's killed a lot of villagers along the way as that elephant works away on the second stable. That's probably a good thing for Hera at this point. Although he's added another one behind. More light cav trying to come in here. Viper really wishing he hadn't lost those 4 monks to the town center as he's blocking the Knight with the Mangonel.
That's a sick play right there. I mean, these light cav are weak, dude. They are so weak. One attack round with the Mangonel, and then these crossbows, and they're toast.
He's healing him up. He's healing him up, though. He's getting ready. Viper's got a couple monks. He's got a couple more Knights on this side.
I don't think Hera can fight this right now. Like, I think he needs to go for something else. More light cav.
+2 armor.
+2 armor.
More Knights.
I like that.
Fire's still working away on the fishing ships. That's a nice touch there from Viper. Viper didn't have Sanctity before, so he's getting it now as the Knights continue to run through here.
This is no longer just about this push, because Viper is using this control to switch back on water. We got fire galleys coming out nonstop. Hera will have to try and focus on that as well, as his starting TC is still being pressured by the Viper. Let's not forget that lead that the Vikings had against Viper, or against Tato in the Leary Tato games. The Bengalis, if they stay on land, they can hold on, they can do some crazy things. Viper is going to try and defend. He'll lose his siege, but let's see, will he lose his crossbows? It feels like he might, because there's Knights in the mix, and Hera will get conversions, and Hera dives on the crossbows and will push this back with Vikings.
Yeah, that +2 armor coming in clutch there. Sanctity for Viper, not enough. He gets a couple conversions, but the crossbows will die. Still, he's done a lot of damage with this push. Hera will have some comfort now, but remember, Viper was teching back into the water. There's still longboats there for Hera. Here come the fire ships from Viper as Hera clears up the army finally, and he's working away on that siege workshop.
Hera's just insane. Like 44 on food when the front of your base is being pushed.
Yep.
And like any normal human would assume that you would clear up the land and then have issues on water, but he noticed this as well. And the longboats are just going to destroy everything. It's not going to happen on land right now for Viper. It's not going to happen on water right now for Viper. Something needs to happen for Viper, Dave, or this is just going to be Hera time and time again, and it's going to be a 5-1 victory for Hera.
Here come more docks. Here come more docks from Viper. It looks like he wants to click up. Hera also wants to click up, lacking the gold supply right now, though. 112 villagers for him. Viper does have the building, so he can click up as soon as he has the food, and here he goes. No, he queues up some more spearmen. Viper, time to go up. There we go.
Yeah, he clicks up. He's going to drop barracks at home. Does feel a little awkward to have to make some spears against Viking Knights, but he does need them after all, and I think he's pretty much giving up the land push now, right? Hera drops a castle to lock that down, and we're going to head to the Imperial Age for both, and it is going to be Viking Navy, full longboats. Hera already on 15 of them against Bengali Navy that does regenerate. You do also have the unique tech, which helps with population space later on. You can have a few more military units on the field, but I mean, the odds are stacked against Viper massively right now.
Yeah, pikemen coming in. We've got 93 villagers for Viper versus 119 for Hera. Transport ship as well for Hera, so maybe even thinking about like going out for the relics?
Yeah, I mean,
on the water?
I don't know if we've seen a single relic brought in on this map in this tournament, because it's really annoying. It takes more of your time than anything, but Hera has time. He's chilling. He's got a massive lead, and Viper's docks are not going to be up much longer. I'd actually like to see Hera just walk forward, drop a castle. I wouldn't mind to see him even consider something like Siege Ram, just to push into the base. It really helps with the water fights as well. But
even taking out the docks with Viking Knights and Lycav.
Res collected difference, almost 8,000 more for Hera. And another game where he's found himself in the early town centers, and you can't break him. And then from there, he's flying in the Imperial Age.
Viper, 30 seconds away from him. Hera, 20 seconds away from him. As that demo is about to come out from this dock, it is stuck inside, but what do you do with that? There's not enough Navy here to push back the longboats.
A shot. There it is. Viper tries. It doesn't kill his ship. Hera, just a slight misclick there. But it's probably because he's going to click these upgrades. Look at those resources. Viper's redocking. Viper's going to be like, you've got to be kidding me, man. I can't even redock here. You're going to find this as well. We've got Lycav running through my eco.
I mean, the key to taking back water control against longboats is to get a landing. But Viper already tried that.
He did.
He already tried it. So now he's just going to keep trying to make docks as he takes out the Lycav with his demo. He's going to keep trying to make docks, but Hera's going to keep finding the docks and keep taking out the docks.
We have Bogsvigar on the way now. That will add extra attack for those longboats for Hera. I believe he's on elite longboat. If not, that'll just come in any moment. But still not elite. But Viper, I think if this is 1-1 right now, Viper actually would have tapped. But because he realizes he's about to be 4-1 down in a best-of-9, doesn't want to do it right away. But he does not look confident if you look at his face right now that he's going to be able to do this one. And maybe the realization sinking in that, like, maybe even Viper starts to doubt himself. Like, man, can I do this? Can I bring this back anymore? Or is he just simply better than me in these settings?
It's so tough. Viper calls the GG. Hera takes another game. 4-1 for Hera after game number 5 there. Viper is going to have to find a way back, and if he wants to win this set, he's going to have to win 4 games in a row against Hera.
Let's talk about timings, right? Viper built the forward vills. He went for archers. And he lost the villagers there. 3 or 4 minutes later, he strolls across the map and goes for the monks in siege. He did surprise Hera because Hera just thought the vills were done with. But that's a large period of time for Hera to get that economic lead, because Hera's decisions in early Castle Age were just a couple ships and then town centers, and we're talking Vikings eco. So the changing moment in the game, in my opinion, is Viper losing those vills. Now, I don't know what happened to all of them. Maybe they both went to build that one dock. Maybe we missed Hera sniping one with a scout, but he needed one of those villagers to make a siege workshop right away, make the monastery right away, and that puts Hera under pressure before he has time for those resources to flow. Then maybe Hera can't consider all the things that he did or afford what he went for there. So 4-1, Hera in the driver's seat. Viper, 0 home maps remaining. This is gonna be. This is such an uphill climb for Viper.
If it happens, it would be incredible.
It would be.
But it is extremely unlikely. Hera, he was the favorite coming into this tournament, and he's proving everyone right now. He is playing at an incredible level. Viper is also playing very well, but, I mean, Hera just seems unstoppable, and he's well on his way to claiming that final tournament championship, the Red Bull Wololo Series. The Viper chants now from the crowd.
I think you have to try and pump them up. If you're the crowd right now, Viper, you have to remember that in multiple games, this was just really close. What we've seen from Viper since the Mountain Dunes game is he's been trying to go for things that aren't in his playstyle necessarily. He's been going for like timing attacks and not focusing on economy himself. It almost feels like he's starting to think now that maybe Hera has that slight edge with that meta play. So this is quite a map to go to here in a game 5 when Viper looks disappointed.
Yes.
This is Viper's choice, the map Depression. He will need to win here. He will need to conquer Depression and keep going here.
I think he did really well yesterday with the Cumans. Now, obviously, he forgot about Bodcanero.
Yep.
At least not initially. He didn't want to invest into it, but he forgot about it later. But still, the production with them was insane. His army groupings were insane. He was always on the attack. Now, obviously, he doesn't have Cumans in this draft, but still, Viper knows the key to this map, and it is non-stop attack. It's keep coming at your enemy, never give them a moment to breathe. Unfortunately, Hera is really good at doing that as well, and really good at managing attacks like that.
I think we see hunts here from Viper.
Yeah.
And I think we see a strategy as we see information about Hera. His Depression is very snowbally and has a lot of areas to defend, making it one of the most technically challenging maps. Change a couple words there, and you're talking mental health.
Thank you, Hera.
Thank you, Hera.
Appreciate it.
But back to my point, I think we see a labbed out strategy here. I had some early conversations on day 1 that there's something that's been tested. Now, we've already kind of seen the approach, and it's based around getting 2 towers, one on your wood and one on your gold tier.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of Cav Archers today. I think Huns, towers to protect resources, a bit of greed from Viper, and Cav Archers. Now, that's not immediate. I think from what I've heard from others, it's typically a range opening, and you adapt based on your opponent. But I'm honestly, I'm not seeing a Viper right now. Even though he can do this, I'm not seeing a Viper that plays scouts into archers, full-on normal metagame transitions. I think he's just going to try and take some risks to get some momentum back, get his mentality back in it.
If you got to win 4 games in a row, there's going to be risks along the way. You can't be afraid of it.
Agreed.
Can't be afraid of it.
So
you have to trust in yourself.
Hera has Tatars, and I think Tatars are one of the best civs on this map, arguably better than Huns, as the free thumb ring upgrade, and plus the hill bonus at play is super strong. And yeah, I would guess we see Tatars Huns here. That would be Viper's #1 civ pick. But you got to use it. You got to get your win somewhere, Dave.
I wonder where he uses Gajars.
I thought Gajars was going to be on Shrubland, actually, because it feels really good against Franks.
Yeah.
And Portuguese work more on other maps, but obviously he's already played Shrubland. I'd almost need to see the maps again. I think they're all very similar. I think Karst is probably a no for me. I think he'd probably want to go for Gurjaras somewhere other than that. He could skip Gurjaras, technically. I think he would have 1 leftover civ. But he picked it early enough where I'm not really sure.
Ooh, we're getting ready here, and it looks like Hera is going for the Tatars on Depression. You called it out, and it's the Magyars.
Okay.
For Viper.
I forgot he had Magyars. So Magyars are great with the scout opening and great with the Cav Archers because they can build the Cav Archers faster. Viper may go really aggressive in Feudal Age here, actually, because why not if you have the cheap scouts and foraging? But in mid-game, feels like a Cav Archer map for me, and it's really hard to protect. You get 3 lumber camps around the backside. Sometimes what you'll see players do, because 2 of the lumber camps will generate next to each other, so you have 8 vills there, and there's this little lonely lumber camp on the back, like on the far side away from that with 4.
Yeah.
They'll just move those 4 to the other 2 lumber camps. Get those 4 exposed ones out of the way, and it just allows for an easier wall up.
All right, building up into the 6th game here. Hera is up 4-1 right now over the Viper. Viper needs 4 wins in a row to take this back. 1 win here is a good start. He's got Magyars. Hera has Tatars, and the map is Depression. Viper fans, let me hear ya. Your boy needs it if he wants to come back.
So let's see exactly how this works for Viper. Right off the bat, I want to point out that lumber camp to the north of his TC. Very exposed, those 4. You could move them to the other lumber camps in theory. Hera's got a ton on gold, archer opening, and he's doing exactly what we said.
Yep.
He's going to send 5 vills to the stone. He's going to get 50 stone, which will allow him to tower his gold, and he's probably already towering his wood. Yeah, so you protect all your wood. you protect your gold, and you mark it, you go Castle Age, you go CA. This is a strategy that some other GL players were talking about, and Hera clearly knows about it as
Nice
Viper quick walls in his villager here.
Nice quick walls from Viper. He's not going to lose that build just yet. Now he's on the chase against that scout, and he's trying to take it out early as we see Viper adding more scouts of his own. Hera with the archer range instead, and the abandoned lumber camp as you were talking about there. He's towered the wood line, and he's likely going to tower the gold. He mined just enough stone to do so.
Yeah, and so the wood should be walled as well, I think. And if your gold is towered, your berries are pretty much the only area you can protect. So having seen a couple practice games with this, Viper's got to kill Vils right now. And he's going to have a really smooth economy himself compared to Hera, who is mainly relying on the market and that power spike of getting to Castle Age. But Hera's still a long way from Castle Age. And he knows what's coming. We'll see if he can defend from it.
Armor upgrade coming from Viper, but he lost that scout. He loses another scout there, so he's really struggling for the numbers. Oh man, let's see if Viper can keep the scout production coming to punish the faster Castle Age here from Hera. He's coming in towards the berries. One of those scouts is weak, but he does have forging, he does have the armor. Let's see if Hera wants to engage here with the villagers. Does he check the upgrades before he does so? He's fighting with the Vils.
Ooh.
Viper in on the berries, trying to take them out. Is he able to kill one? He's not.
Yeah, and Hera's just like, okay, this is the only area I have to defend now. I'm completely fine otherwise. So he can just back away to the TC. Doesn't have to respect Viper that much after Viper loses HP. And what makes this extremely dangerous is Viper thinks Hera is just going to go Castle Age. And Hera's actually going to sneak a couple archers forward as well. This is just so good from Hera. It's so mind-gamey because Viper knows exactly what Hera's trying to do, but he doesn't know about this.
Well, he's got the scouts over here.
Does he?
He's got the scouts over. He just misses the archers.
Oh, dude.
So close.
We'll see if those archers can actually run around.
He's looking. He's looking.
He senses something's up because he doesn't see the flag on the archer range at home. He actually checked that.
Nice
he
job
didn't
from
see
Viper.
the flag, and Viper tracks that. That is sick. That is
Beautiful job
really
from
good
Viper.
to know that army is back there, and those archers will die for Hera.
Yeah, he pulls the scout away. Comes back within range, and that scout is going to die, but he's going to clear up the forward group of archers. As Bloodlines comes in, it's going to be fully upgraded feudal scouts. Hera is on the way to Castle Age, but all he has is 2 towers and 3 spearmen. I don't know if it's going to be enough if Viper picks the right spots to attack.
Yeah, so Viper's committed now. There's no going back. There's no going back. And ideally, he finds some villager picks soon. We might see a 3rd stable. We might even see a 4th stable here for Viper. And Hera's going to realize now he's got to wall up. He walls up his wood line. Perfect timing here from Hera. And he's going to be happy to throw away those spearmen. He just doesn't want to lose any excess villagers.
Another spearman coming in, but like you said, the only exposed area of Hera's base now is the berries, and that's right near the town center. Viper sneaks in here, might be able to kill a couple villagers, but he loses a lot of scouts as Hera is attempting to wall in the scouts as well. 1 villager goes down, and 4 scouts from Viper are dead and gone near the berries from Hera. He finds the abandoned lumber camp, nothing doing there. Maybe the gold. Maybe he can find damage on the gold.
This strategy, according to Doubt, is the most OP strategy on the map. Like this was
Overchop?
The strategy that everyone's conclusion was.
Overchop?
After some training. Now we've got the scouts getting through. Hera doesn't seem to see that because he's also off of his gold. Hera's lost 3 Vils. He's going to lose a 4th Vil, and Viper's still pumping scouts. Dude, I'm so pumped for this. Can Viper get enough scouts to kill off the Cav Archers here from Hera?
I mean, Hera has a couple Cav Archers in production. He's actually got 7 Cav Archers in production, but it's fully upgraded feudal scouts. If Viper can cut off the gold, if he can keep killing the villagers, it's 45 villagers for Viper, 37 for Hera. He just needs to manage those Cav Archer numbers and manage his scouts well, but it's going to be so tough against Castle Age units.
Yeah, and Thumb Ring is instant. If you fight on a hill as well, you do additional bonus damage right now. If you're Hera, Viper needs kills, whether it's villagers. Well, pretty much only villagers he needs to kill them. Scouts are a bit faster than Cav Archers, so you can actually chase down the Cav Archers, and Hera doesn't have bloodlines, but Hera didn't lose that much, Dave. 5 villagers to be able to 3 range cav archers in this stage. It feels worth the risk.
I mean, Viper still has 27 on food. He hasn't been hit at home, but he really needs to track where the cav archers are. He can't be unawares when those cav archers come forward. He is finding them. There's a bunch of weak cav archers here, and the scouts are pretty quick as well, so he could maybe take out some of that army. He snipes another villager on the wood line. Full feudal play here against the Castle Age army from Hera.
It's not a strategy you see Hera go for typically. He's normally on Viper side of things, going for the scouts. And to your point, Dave, it's been all this pressure on Hera. He's had all these inefficiencies. He hasn't been able to move out. But the cav archer number is getting bigger.
4 stable production from Viper.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's going to be painful. But I think your next engagement has to be on the cav archers, and you almost need to wait until he gets close to your base before you show him you'll engage. Because this whole diving for the gold next to the big CEA mass thing, it's not working out. I like this. Hera really struggled here because he didn't get the walls down completely.
The cav archers have been missed, though.
Okay,
I think Viper went all the way around the cav archers. He's going to potentially hit the gold. But will he have enough in reinforcements at his own base to deal with those cav archers? That is the question. He's on the gold now. There's nothing here. They have to go back to the town center. Some cav archers coming now in support, and Viper will need to pull away again. But let's see what the forward army from Hera can do.
Viper, you've got to know. There were no cav archers there. You've got to know these CA are on the way. Viper is planning on tower defense here to keep himself alive here in the finals, but the wood line was unprotected. The gold will probably be protected, but these cav archers, Dave, they're so freaking strong.
Yeah, with Thumb Ring, they're so powerful here against the feudal units. Looks like another couple scouts lost on the wood line there from Viper in exchange for a few villagers from Hera. As he tries to snipe the weak ones, Hera's not letting him. Hera's not letting him. 1 cav archer down, 2, almost 3 there, and 3 remaining as Viper's still on the prowl with these scouts. He's down to 9, but he's only lost 3 villagers, and maybe a big raid here from Viper.
Hera didn't wall it up. Hera does not have this walled up because he needs more villagers on wood, and they have to path through. And Viper is going to get a massive raid here, and he's towered at home, Dave. If he didn't have the towers, he's dead.
He's chasing
but
the
Hera's cav archers cannot get the job done right now.
Hera is really trying here. He's got 13 cav archers. It's a lot, but Viper is just keeping his head above water right now. He's got a lot of gold if he can get the market. He's on stone for more towers. He's invested. He's full feudal here, but only 7 on food at the moment.
Yeah, and it's just, there's just so many spots. How are you supposed to tower everything here? You can't. Honestly, Viper's done an amazing job getting damage in, but if he can't kill these, and Hera just walls his wood line, for once. It's been a real weakness. There he goes. I don't know what Viper's supposed to do against this. This is insane that these units are way stronger, and Viper would need maybe 25, 30 scouts to be able to kill this many cav archers.
He's just hoping for big raids. He's hoping that Hera is not there when he goes towards his base. He's hoping Hera isn't home, and he's finding some more villagers that are exposed. But is it enough, right? It feels like Hera can get by with just 39 vills in this situation.
If Viper can get more scouts on the field, that's his way back. If he can break through there, he's trying to take down a tower. Hera's cav archers here advancing. This is such a tough position for Viper and for Hera.
Double tower, but the villagers are chopping wood on the other side of the market. Viper needs to leave. Fortunately, Hera didn't see that.
We'll see what Hera does here. There's another tower to the left. He probably doesn't want to go near that, but towers aren't really that strong against cav archers.
Viper's still looking for a way in.
And Viper might find a way in. But Viper's not going to find a way to cast.
Oh, Hera found the vills, but Viper with the walls.
Nice.
And he escapes with the villagers. He's back on the gold again, but Hera is there with cav archers. 20 cav archers, ballistics coming in. Uh-oh.
Like 19 to 7 KD, eco KD for Viper. The res collected is 2,000 higher. And he's just stuck here now. If you look at the stats, Viper should be way ahead, but because of the CA mass and the timing on this, it feels like
when you ever go to Castle Age, you can sell your stone, maybe you can buy the food, maybe, but then you have to produce more scouts as the cav archers come in.
This would be
onto the gold. They're also onto the stone. They're in on the farms over there as Viper garrisons the towers, but there's not enough room. He's going back towards the gold. Maybe he can kill a bunch here, but Hera responsive right away.
He does, but I mean, the double tower approach on the gold does mean that Viper can stay there. And Viper's scouts still continuing to pressure Hera. the Viper's doing such a good job against this. This chaotic situation is so much crazier than you could have expected. He's going to find this wood line.
Great quick walls from Hera.
Oh my goodness,
Holy,
dude.
those quick walls from Hera.
I mean, the house may go
The
down.
palisades down, the palisades down. He's chasing the villagers back. More villager deaths on the goal.
What is happening?
Viper will not give up.
The two towers are still fine here. Hera's got to move her along. Hera's at 35 builds.
34.
Viper's at 52, and there's more villagers.
33, 32.
These are Cav Archers with Thumb Ring, Ballistics, and Viper just refuses to quit here. This is insane. What? I mean, Dave, if he can do this and get this much momentum, because this has felt impossible.
Can he do it?
Who knows?
Can he do it? There's still that Cav Archer mass. The Cav Archers are avoiding the towers for now, but how long is that going to happen, and how many villagers can you kill?
Well,
honestly, 33 vills for Hera, 23 Cav Archers. It's still very, very dangerous for Viper.
I'm very curious if we have now reached the point where Hera actually cannot damage Viper's eco.
Well, Viper can't damage Hera's because there's nothing left.
Yeah, true. Okay, there's definitely plenty of spots that Hera can raid. That answers my question. But these Cav Archers don't have bloodlines, and so they will die to the tower fire, and Viper's got 20 scouts, dude.
And he's getting fletching for the towers.
He's getting fletching.
I'm surprised he didn't have that before.
I thought that Viper was out of this game. How he still has a chance just comes down to his fight. He could have so easily rolled over here. It's such a difficult journey to try and come back here. But he's a true pro, but he's a true pro without
another tower
farms
onto the farms.
The moment. Yeah.
As he needs those farms to keep the scouts coming. That's the only unit he can make. 27 Cav Archers now for Hera. Plenty of gold there for Viper. He could potentially buy food, but Hera wisely sniping the farms from Viper. He realizes that that's a big investment. Every farm is a huge deal for Viper. And he's only got 5 on wood to replace those farms that Hera's killing right now.
Can Viper choose to engage the CA, or is that just not an option?
That's not an option.
That's
20
rough.
scouts against 30 CA.
That's rough. Can he like use some Age of Mythology retold things here?
He just needs to find another 20 exposed villagers. That's a start.
That's a start. Hera may run out of gold there at some point. Hera doesn't seem to realize that's happening right now, actually, so that's good for Viper. But Hera's looking at other things. He's seeing a couple Cav Archers go down there. And
Viper down to 45 vills now. Viper has lost quite a few villagers. Look at the Eco KD 22 minutes in. 36 to 24. I mean, it's been a barn burner for sure. As the scouts come in towards the house, they're going to try to get into that wood line. Again, there's an overstop at the back Viper doesn't know about.
I think Hera noticed it. It's important he does because that would be significant.
Viper can't make scouts anymore, Tristan. He can't make scouts. He doesn't have the food. This might be the end here. Hera may have weathered the storm. He's got the Cav Archer mass. This could be really, really rough for Viper. Oh, man.
What a game. I mean, it's a crazy strat, right? It's super cool. This is just this is a labbed out strat. This is the benefit of practice. And it's a new map brought here to the finals. So amazing to see Hera use it here. Viper will struggle to kill a lot more than that. Kills one more and immediately runs over to that wood line. He did get towers up in his farming eco, but he actually needs more vills on wood. The problem is he's buying food because he can't afford to place farms because he has no wood.
Viper, 2 scouts in the queue. We got Hera still running around with these Cav Archers. We look at the KD. He's gotten some good fights against the scouts. He's got 3 roaming bands of Cav Archers. Hera is not giving up on sniping all of the farms around Viper's eco, and he's killing all of the army forward. Viper is just running out of momentum here. He's running out of steam. He's running out of army. He knows he's killed a lot of villagers, but he's got nothing. He's got no eco now to keep producing army.
Yeah, he did everything he could, Dave. He's tried everything, and he's done such a good job. But Hera's strategy and getting to the Cav Archers this fast just seems so freaking strong. I mean, still, despite Viper's current economic issues, he still collected almost 3,000 more resources. The KD just not looking good. He just needs a unit to fight with. And Cav Archer is simply so much better than anything feudal.
Hera's converging from 3 directions onto the last remaining scouts from Viper. They are in the middle of the map. Viper's going to try and take a fight. He's got 1 scout in the queue, but we see another army from Hera, 1 coming from the rear as well as he combines his forces. He's got ballistics, he's got thumb ring. This is it. This is the final fight here as Hera takes his long-awaited championship, Red Bull Wololo champion. Years of heartbreak for this. Congratulations, Hera. Oh my goodness.
What a performance. What a performance. My favorite part about it all is the cherry on top, right? The cherry on top. I was saying maybe Viper goes for the wacky CA plays. Hera with the greed and the strategy. The double tower play was amazing. That is not that well known. Not a lot of people would have tried it. And Hera does in the biggest stage. And he is proud. He should be, Dave. And he's been playing so well that he just feels inevitable when he's up there.
He feels inevitable. He is inevitable. He is Hera. Let's hear it for him, everyone. What a performance from Hera. I love the fight from Viper to keep going there with the scouts.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Viper usually, if that was like game 2 or something, he would have tapped out, but he gave it literally everything he had, and he couldn't overcome Hera. Hera deserves this in every way. And there's the Hera chants from the crowd. You love to hear it.
Wow, I mean, it just feels like a perfect story for him, right? This was the one that he wanted, and he lost what? Like, how many games did he lose? Did he lose like 2 games the entire tournament? I think he lost 1 to Leary.
He lost.
And now 1 to Viper.
He lost
here.
2 games.
Yeah, that's
he
it.
He lost 2 games the entire tournament.
Yep, and if there's any question on the path, there can be no question now. Viper just thanking the crowd as he heads off stage. And amazing job from the Viper in this tournament. He will be disappointed, of course, but he's been on stage himself. He knows what it means to Hera to make it here and win these tournaments. And this is Hera's moment to shine as we send it to the stage with Riley and Hera.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Once more, make some noise for your Age of Empires 2 champion. Finally, Hera is collecting that Red Bull Wololo trophy that's been missing. And you did it in a convincing fashion over the course of many days of action and in front of this incredible crowd. What does this trophy and this title mean for you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I worked really hard to finally win a Red Bull, and I think I won the best one, honestly.
Hera, I want to ask you, mate, as we turn our attention to the games that we've just seen, Viper did seem to come after you early, right? He was staging raids left and right. He was trying to get into your eco in the early stages and gain an early advantage. You repelled these raids really effectively in the games that you won. Was this something you're anticipating? What's your response when you're under pressure like that?
I try to keep making vills, move away, and just try to survive all the pressure he throws at me. That's really the mindset. Honestly, I think spamming like a lot of ranked games helps with that. Like, I want to go like 20-0 on stream. I can't lose the raids, and I think that helps a lot when it comes to like the grand finals moments.
Yeah, I mean, if we're speaking of aggression, you were going up against a formidable opponent, of course, in the Viper, and he was actually able to go aggressive himself in map 3. That wall was up, really caused some issues for you. If you play should've, could've, do you feel like if you were able to break that wall down earlier, the outcome would have been different, and if so, how so?
Honestly, I didn't hear the question, but the crowd is amazing.
The crowd is making a lot of noise.
They're excited. They're as excited as you are, of course, over the victory. I think I just want to give you an opportunity to talk about Viper's performance here in this tournament, map 3, where he was able to shut down your aggression.
I think Viper played amazing, to be honest. I think he played amazing. He felt really sharp. He had good strategies, and every game felt close. Every game felt close.
He's a formidable opponent, the Viper. Let's hear it for our very valiant runner-up, a former Red Bull Wololo champion as well, the Viper. He played his guts out.
Viper's a legend. Viper's a legend.
Hera, before you hoist this trophy at long, long last, I hope you've got room on the shelf at home, mate. I want to give you an opportunity. Are there people out there that you want to thank, people to whom you owe a debt of gratitude? Anyone you want to mention here on this, one of the biggest days of your career?
Yeah, I have a few people to thank. I'll start with my wife, who came out here and traveled with me, supported me. The long hours at night, she's there helping me out, and yeah, she's just been incredible in my journey. I also thank her family in Argentina, family in Canada, both the families supporting me so much. They were watching. That means the world as a gamer. You don't always get the parent support, but I have it, and that means the world to me. And I also want to give a shout out to, I promise I do this, the #1 CBA player for helping me do that cool patrol micro. He taught me it, and that one's for you, Chengo. He helped me a lot with that. It was something that's never been seen in Random Map before. And I guess lastly, the amazing crowd. Honestly, what more can you say? What more can be said? I can't play another tournament without 500 people watching. You guys have spoiled me too much. Amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Well, Hera, I'll grab that microphone off you, my friend, because there remains nothing more for us to do than once again congratulate the champion of Red Bull Wololo, Reinado, in Age of Empires 2. It is Hera!